Welcome in, guys, to
Hi, everyone.
episode 17. Um, and we have a new guest with us this week. We're going to be talking about what are we talking about? We're talking, I get to do the top five Elton John songs and albums, which is going to cause some controversy because every one of our lists do. Um, we're going to do our essential records. And of course, we're always going to show you our new arrivals. There was something I wanted to talk about from yesterday. What was it? Oh, I think I lost it. Oh, I saw the Bee Gees. So Jan's a big Bee Gees fan, and they come out with a new box set of like dance Bee
Yeah,
Gees.
like dance singles on 12-inch. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
saw that.
like
That's
$80.
probably the best. That's probably the best stuff.
It's $80 though.
And it has remixes in the backside of each of them that's like
Yeah.
never been heard before.
So that'll be fun. Oh, and I did read some article about the Gibbs and the other day. So I was doing some research on Janet, sort of. There was something I wanted to mention, but I forgot what it was. So we'll continue on because it's not worth talking about. So again, since Janet's here, this is her first time here. We also I do questions for our new guests. And I'm going to do them every week, and I'm still working on the list. And a couple of things that I asked, I'm going to ask the same. Well, first of all, let's introduce you, and you tell us about you.
Sean, I see you're using an official Vinyl Canyon handmade notebook there.
Yes, I am using.
Hey, the bread one. Nice. Yes, my name's Janet, Vinyl Canyon. Sometimes I say it too fast. Janet Vinyl Canyon. That's not my full name. But thank you guys for having me on here. It's a pleasure to be able to see you guys live all at once. It's really fun. So so I've been on Whatnot technically 4 years, since April of 2022. However, back in the day, I remember seeing Bruce, I remember seeing Esky, I remember seeing a few others, like when Bruce was in the basement and stuff. And it was all dollar starts at that time, and I couldn't make money off what I bought. 'Cause I'm not like a bulk. I was a bulk buyer, but I wasn't I was still getting kind of newish into it. So I played with it, sold some VHSs, sold some DVDs, this and that. Took a break, and then in 2024. I'm part of a group called the Thrifting Board on Facebook, and it's Jason T. Smith's group, and that's where I learned how to do vinyl and CDs and how to resell all that. And for his smaller group, the Secret Beach, I said, I'm going to do we had monthly chats and stuff. You can take on a topic and teach others. So I was like, I'm going to figure Whatnot out. Nobody had tackled it. I said, listen, I'm going to dive deep. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out how this works. I've been toying with it for a while, and I really just I think I need to get into the scene and get steeped into it. So the summer of 2024 is the summer of Whatnot, and I was just selling stuff out, losing my hat, figuring it out, picking it back up again. And then I found Sean's show, and I said to him one day, hey, how do you use this OBS thing?
It's always my fault.
Yeah, no, because I like to clean and play test. That was before I met you guys. I like to tell the stories about things. So I was attracted to his show first, and then I saw he had better sound, and I was like, hey, how you doing that? And he explained OBS. We were talking on the side. Then I got to know Channel 910, and then Gonzo was on around the same time I came on, that second time around, because I remember his shows with your Gonzo, actual Gonzo illustration in your thumbnails. Remember when you came on? Remember seeing Scott Echo, I saw him. So I'm loving it. I've been doing it for 2 years now, more hardcore. I'm in 3 different communities now. I'm vinyl, handmade, arts, and community. And I'm trying to state sales, but I'm not so good at it. I'm really good at telling stories about things, about the vinyl I've cleaned and listened to, or the art I made for you. But I really suck at just holding stuff up and say, buy my stuff. It's just not my scene. So I think I'll just do that on other sites. But and when I'm not whatnotting, I'm an art teacher, high school art teacher for almost 20 years now. So actually, this is my 20th year teaching amongst 2 different districts. So yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
And the one thing I like about, if you ever been in Janet's show, no matter what she's selling, she takes the time to do the research. From the Newfound Folk show that I bought several things, but she really dives into it and really learns the product she's selling so that she can speak to it. And it makes it much more engaging. And you also I always have trouble phrasing this, but the overlooked records, you help them find a home. Because as a seller on here, I tend to, some artists we kind of overlook, and it's unfortunate that we do that. And you always take
my Perry Como day. Nobody bought Perry Como, but they bought it later as a local act. But I like to find stuff that nobody I have a Plant record that I'd like to play, but it has a really weird high pitched sound to it. But it has this cool jazzy swinging 60s sound to it. And I was like, I should probably play it and see if my plants actually grow, and then report back.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
So guys, give her a follow, and again, she's delving into all different categories on Whatnot, and she's more diverse than we are. So some of the questions, the questions I've been asking, the first one is, if you could see a band or an artist and it's gonna be two parts. Currently still living, and also an artist group that has passed.
Okay.
What would you go see?
Okay.
Start with
Past is
living.
easy. The Beatles, hands down.
The
Probably
Beatles.
in their Hard Day's Night era. And current? The one that keeps eluding me is Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats because they keep coming through and I keep like missing them because like I'm working or I got sick one time and like I have not yet nailed that one down yet. So I want to go see them live. Yeah.
Cool. See, I'd pick the Beatles too, but I think I'd want to just sit in the studio with them.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what I would do. All right. So the next thing is when you buy a record, do you keep in the shrink or do you remove? What's your?
I only remove if it's a gatefold and I can't open the gatefold. Otherwise, I keep it in the shrink
So
because I don't know if I'm going to keep it forever. I like to keep it fresh, and it keeps it nicer. And then, like, if I'm going to resell it, it's always more highly valued if you have it in the shrink. So, and the hype sticker and all that. So,
but you also enjoy the artwork, and so I can.
Oh yeah,
the gatefold.
Yeah, I opened the gatefold. The only gatefold I haven't opened is the Mel Brown that's in my shop because I already have a copy for myself. So,
right. Next question would be: what is your favorite LP in your collection? And it doesn't have to be valuable. It could be it's more sentimental. And if you want to do if you want to do two, you can. But what is your favorite LP in your collection?
Favorite one LP?
And it could be for sentimental reasons and whatever.
Sheesh, you threw me off. That's a tough one. What do I play over and over again?
Or it's passed down from.
I'll say this could change every other day. But we were just talking about Beatles Love and Johnny's show recently, and I would say that's one of my favorites to play over and over again. I played it a few times while doing art streams because I like the remixes. That's my first introduction to Giles Martin and his remastering. Yep, you got it right there. I got the Italian pressing from Johnny. And I would say because I like the Beatles so much, they made it fresh and new for me when they came out then. I've not yet seen the Cirque du Soleil, but I think they came out on DVD. I'd like to get it. Second one, I was telling Scott when we were talking about what are my favorite top records and he didn't want to do lives. My favorite live album is probably Queen Rock Montreal. And I went to go see I saw it in IMAX a few years ago and I went by myself because I was like, nobody else wanted to go at like 7:00 at night. And I was like, I'm taking myself. And I'm so glad I did because like I'm young enough where Freddie Mercury had passed by the time I was 9, so I never got to see him live. And just to see him when you're in IMAX and you're watching a rock and roll show in IMAX, you feel like you're there. And like his mustache was right there, and like you could see everything. So it was just like the energy was high. I mean, of course they're hyped up on cocaine and stuff, but it was just a high rockin' show. They were at their peak at that point, before his health started failing on him. So it was just a great album. So I really like that one as a live album. Yeah.
VC had it. I don't know if they still do.
Did they? Yeah. Oh, Scott left us. Where'd he go?
I'm not surprised.
Best Coast Music. Yeah, I've already been interviewed by Best Coast Music. I did that last year.
Let me let him back in. I'll let him.
That's so funny.
We should let him back in.
Do the jazz.
There we go. There he is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just bloop.
Thank you, Jeremy K. I appreciate it.
All right. So let's see. I think that's all my questions for today.
Okay.
Next time I'll ask you some different ones.
Okay. Thank you.
So this is where we go. What's new, guys? What did you get? Anything new this week? And we start with our guest.
Behind me, I chose this as my first new one. I just got it last night, actually, at Target. See, Target's dangerous, guys, because you're like, I always go to like the vinyl section first to see what's new, and I know it's dangerous. So I saw my receipt and I was like, damn it. But I had to get Stevie Wonder's The Definitive Collection. And I always love how his records always have the Braille on it too. So this is a new Target pressing. It is orange. I was just listening to it to jazz me up before. Actually, one's on the turntable here. And then I think the other side is orange also. And being it's Black History Month, I thought I'd lead with that because he is like so integral to the history of rock and roll and R&B. And you really can't talk about Black music history without mentioning Stevie Wonder. And so he is why I wanted to mention him first. So definitely get this one. It's worth it.
Yeah, that's a good comp. I have that. That's really nice.
All right, who wants to go next? Jake, you got some new stuff?
One.
Oh, it's America.
Which I got today, which is America self-titled. And I got the Rhino Reserve. And I got the Rhino Reserve because I was actually at the record store, called Scott up to let him know that they still had the Van Morrison Vinyl Me Please, which he didn't have, of Veed and Fleece. And I said, look, they've got it. If I go there next time it's there, I'll grab it. So I called him up and we were just chit-chatting. And he's like, Jake, do you have the America self-titled Rhino Reserve? And I was like, I don't. He's like, I tell you what, if there's a record that is so clean and crisp, like the job they did on this thing is unbelievable. And I'm like, let me go check and see if they got it. They had 3 copies.
Wow,
So scored
great.
one, put it on, and hour prep before the show, had the album going, and told them, like, man, you aren't lying. This thing, you can hear everything. It's so crisp. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And you guys, I think you've heard us mention Rhino Reserves maybe a few times in this show and all the other ones we do, but we all really kind of fall in love with the quality.
Yeah, we're definitely fanboys. I mean, it's easy to be a fanboy of someone who's just hitting it out of the park. They're killing it. They're killing it with these hi-fis and Rhino Reserves. So,
well, I give Scott and Sean credit on that because they really talked about it a lot. And I mean, I'd love to take credit, right? But I can't. I just kind of came along for the ride, and then finally kind of grabbed a record here and there. And you're not lying. I mean, if you can get a hold of a Rhino Reserve, or even a Rhino Hi-Fi, wow.
Yeah, because they recently
And
came
they're
out.
affordable.
They came out with the Sam and Dave. The one of them sitting on the turtle.
mhm.
That one just came out on Rhino Reserve, and they're easy to find. If you're flipping through, guys, look for that little. You look on the top there, right where Scott has it. You can see that little tab on the top, the red stripe, and that's a Rhino Reserve. So I go to my record store, I can find it in a minute. Boom, boom.
And this is a Rhino Hi-Fi. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm getting ready to. I'm super excited to play this because I have the original press of it. I've got a reissue of it, but I'm sure this is just gonna blow everything out of the water.
All right. So Scott, what did you get this week? You got
All right.
America.
I got America, just like Jake. Really excited about that. Also got this Sturgill Simpson, Sailor's Guide to Earth. I guess technically you would call Sturgill probably Americana, leaning a little into country, but you never know. There's horns in this. He just does his own thing, and pretty well renowned amongst a set of people. And I agree. I really like Sturgill. So a couple of his records are really, really good. So I got that one. I think most people know I sell vinyl press, Japanese press records on Whatnot. Every once in a while, one slides into the personal collection. So this one is super hard to get. And I said,
Yes,
nope,
it is.
it's staying with me. So that's
it matches your clock you bought from Thomas too.
Yeah, it does. But anyway, so I was happy to get that. And then
I saw that on your Instagram today.
Oh, I see something. That's pricey.
Yeah. Thanks to
Ooh,
Channel
nice.
910. I appreciate Johnny and Retta. I picked up this Van Morrison, the best of Van Morrison.
It is the craziest record that you see out there. That's $100 record, guys.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's $100, and it's you guys. Everyone, we all had the CD, but the record for some reason got one press in its format, and I haven't compared it to the now playing. I probably need to compare it with the now playing and see what's different. But yeah, it's $100, and if you can find one because it's one of those ones that's sneaky expensive that you might be able to pick up for $5-10. No one realizes what it's worth, but it is a pricey record.
Both of them,
and that one's super clean too. So I was very happy to get it because it is very hard to find too. So
cool. For me, not much for vinyl, but for you guys, if you need a Jimmy Buffett, I have like 6 of them. But I did get,
Are you doing for $1 start this Sunday, Sean?
No. No, those sit in my show because everyone sends people to me for Buffett, so it's there to have. I did get my T-shirt last week, and there's the sticker to go with it from
Flip Side with Kim.
I got a Fernando T-shirt this week.
Hey,
this actually arrived today. I went outside. I was talking to Johnny, and then we hung up, and I went outside, and these were on my doorstep.
I bought one of those, and when I wore it in stream this summer, somebody asked if it was a weed plant. I go, no, it's a fern, or it's actually a spider plant.
Channel 910 T-shirt.
Nice.
And the Fernando, and then of course, soon to be seen on TV.
Hey.
Whoa!
You got to turn that self-tracking off.
I shut it off constantly, and it comes right back on. So yeah, that from this is Flip Side with Kim. She just did a pilot for a TV show, and this is the fictional record store that she owns in the show. And she will be on, I think, the 12th.
Hey, there she is. She just came in. What's up, Kim?
Are we confirmed with that Kim's going to join us on the 12th, right? Kim's in the chat.
Kim, you just missed. I just started showing this. I don't know if you were there.
Is Stacy in here?
Yeah, she is, because she said I stole her questions from her show when I was asking.
Stace sent you a text.
So there's that. So guys, make sure you follow, look it up on YouTube. So that's kind of what we got new this week, guys. So now we go on to our next segment.
Oh, wait, there's one
you got
thing.
Something? Okay, go for it.
Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down passed away this week, and
Oh yeah.
I know Three Doors Down isn't a lot of people's jams, but I love Three Doors Down, and especially their first record is just amazing. So, cancer, got another one, and it's too bad.
Yeah, there was a couple last week. Also, James Vanderbeek passed away.
Dawson's Creek.
So I just want to talk to everyone, all you males out there. Go get your colonoscopy.
Seriously.
I got scheduled.
Listen, man, and females too. I had a polyp taken this summer that could have gone bad. So go. You're never too young.
And he was because his family had a history of it, and he just kind of put it off. And and he talked about it. I mean, and if he had done early preventative, they might not have gotten to where it was. But guys, go for the colonoscopy. Believe it or not, the prep is not bad. Food poisoning is far worse.
It is what it is.
It's also a great nap. It's going to be the best nap of your life.
Yes.
Literally going to be the best nap of your life.
Yeah.
Go get your colonoscopy, guys, especially if you have family history. Don't learn the hard way, unfortunately, like James Vanderbeek and his family. It could have been something that would have been minor, and it went.
Well, who's the guy from Black Panther? He died of colon cancer too. Yeah, the lead actor.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you do what you need to do, and don't be afraid of the prep. The prep is not as bad as it.
It is what it is.
And we lost. There was another performer that died. Who was it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was another one. But if you guys remember, put it in the chat if you remember. You guys are part of the show too. You are our fifth guest. Actually, you're our first guest, and we're all that. So now we're gonna get real here with our top 3 essential records, and we'll start with the guest, Janet, up there in the.
Oh, should I get the collage? I have a collage of me seeing Sarah McLachlan. Hang tight. You're going to see me at 19. Hang tight.
You got Duran Duran and the Beatles. I ordered the greatest hits Duran Duran. It's
hanging on my wall. All right. So Scott asked me about my top 3 records.
That's right.
That fit within their agenda for the 500, which was really good. And they wanted to do Sarah McLachlan, and I was talking about Better Broken, but he wanted to go classic. So definitely Sarah McLachlan, Surfacing. If you don't have it, you need it. If you need it on CD, I got 3 of them in my shop. But Adia is on here. Sweet Surrender, Building a Mystery, Witness, Angel, Arms of the Angel, right? Like there's some. Well, that's the one from a USPCA or the ASPCA, the Dog Adoption Agency, which is funny because I saw her recently. She's been doing a lot of interviews with her new album, and she just put out. I just got the notification she's doing another US tour, so I'm gonna see if I can go when she's in Connecticut. But she said that when she did that whole spot, she had no idea that it was going to go viral, and now she like regrets it. She just wanted to do a good thing, and now everyone knows her for it. And she's like, eh? So this is just a regular pressing of it. I should probably talk about it, right? So it was her 4th studio album in 1997. It is about 41 minutes long. It was, in terms of chart performances, number 1 on the Canadian RPM 100 albums chart. It peaked at number 2 on the US Billboard 200. For international, it was her first of her albums to reach the top 50 in the UK, Australia, and the Netherlands. And the UK albums chart peak was 47. Worldwide sales as of a few days ago is approximately 9,135,000 copies across major markets. It has been certified 8 times platinum and about 8 million sold by the RIAA. In Canada, and she's Canadian, it was a certified diamond for 100 1 million copy, 1 million plus copies, certified gold in the UK, certified gold in Australia, and some notable singles would be Adia and Angel. Angel was used in City of Angels, right? The movie, I think it was used in that as well. So yeah, Sarah McLachlan surfacing, and also my collage I want to share with you guys. So I saw her in 1999. So my friend surprised me and said, "Hey, we're gonna go see Lilith Fair." I said, "All right." And so this hangs on my wall, and it's a collage of our adventures at Lilith Fair, and you can see a very young Janet right in the middle there, looking up. Hold on, right out there. And so we got to see her. I got a signature of Lisa Loeb. I got to see Sheryl Crow and a bunch of others who were singing at the time. The ticket costs in 1999 $34 for lawn seat at the Meadows in Connecticut, the Meadows Music Theater. And they just renamed it to the Meadows. So if you're a Connecticut person, if I'm going to a lot of DMB concerts, the older folks like us still call it the Meadows. And I guess Xfinity must have dropped their sponsorships and now it's the Meadows Music Theater again, to the cheer of all the 40 and 50-year-olds out there.
Well, it's like I have a T-shirt that says I still call it Great Woods for Mansfield, Mass, which is Xfinity or whatever.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And I have a shirt that says I still call it.
Oh, I still call it the Meadows. Absolutely. Yeah. So that was a good time.
Well, thanks for presenting that, Janet. That record is that's some pop rock perfection there.
Oh, I think it's definitely her best.
So good.
Hands down.
It makes me want to rescue a cat or something.
Yeah, you forgot to mention the send up of her commercial on the Busch beer commercial.
Oh, I don't know. Tell me more about that. I don't know that story. Tell us more.
She's petting a wolf.
Yeah.
And the guy in the flannel, the Paul Bunyan guy that's in all the Busch beer, he goes, "That's not a dog, Sarah."
I haven't seen that.
She's got a good sense of humor about herself,
Yeah, she's really down to earth and real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the documentary on Lilith Fair? It's on Disney Plus / Hulu. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it.
It's on my list for.
So the big thesis of that whole thing was, and I didn't know this until I watched it because I was going through high school. I'm just trying to get through life. They basically told her you cannot on the radio have two female singers back to back. I didn't know that because I grew up where it would happen, right? And then they would not put more than one female on a billing. They didn't think an all-female lineup would sell, and so she really just wanted to sing with other female singers. So I think she defied the record industry. I think she's kind of indie at the time anyway. So she went to her label and says, "I'm doing it anyway." And she and Paula Cole toured together, and it went well. Then they did like a little trial run of like maybe 4 artists. I forget who they were. And they did like a little mini Lilith Fair, and then it like kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger until it just took over all her life. But she really is a mover and shaker for women in music, which is a big. That was right around that same time, 1997, that she really kicked off Lilith Fair. So, and huge inspiration. If you watch the documentary, she inspires folks like Suzanne Vega. She inspired obviously Brandi Carlile. Brandi Carlile saw her in Seattle at Lilith Fair, and now her career has taken off. So, and a lot of people actually went. They were made their name at Lilith Fair, like Missy Elliott. I had no idea she was there, and that was the first time. Christina Aguilera was on the smaller stage. I think Maya was there and Erykah Badu and stuff. So the very first run of Lilith Fair, one of the biggest criticisms they got was that it was an all-white lineup. So they said, well, we can be diverse. So they went out and looked for people of color that were making names for themselves and put them out on the stage there and made it much more of a diverse, open, inclusive environment. And so they just did so many great things. So definitely it's worth your time. Watch it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's on my watch list for sure. Cool. Jake, you want to go next?
No, I'm gonna. I usually go second. We'll switch it up a little bit.
All right, Scott. I'm gonna forget you now that you put it out of order.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Jake won't get picked all night now.
Okay. The Indigo Girls, and there was so many great. Lisa Loeb, come on.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a 5-year period there, like Lilith
sold 1 million copies and was not signed to a label.
Yeah.
Lisa Loeb married a guy I graduated college with. He was a year ahead of me. And he's 10 years younger than her. He's still married to her. He was a guy who worked on Conan O'Brien in production, and then she found him, married him. Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. He worked across the hall in the production. I was in the graphics studio and he was in the communication studio. I didn't know him. He didn't know me, but I knew of him. So that's my one little tip. My 1, 2, 3 degrees of separation.
Yeah, that's nice. That's cool.
Well, I know I'm going to make one person happy tonight because I saw Floyd was in here, so he's going to be happy with this pick. And I've been contemplating it for a few weeks, and I was like, well, which album? So I sat down and I thought, okay, this band deserves to be on there, and I'm a big fan of theirs, the Kinks. This is State of Confusion, and my favorite Kinks era, and I think there's three Kinks eras. There's the British Invasion Kinks with "You Really Got Me All of the Day," "Where Have All the Good Times Gone," "Tired of Waiting on You." They were right in there with the Beatles and the Stones in the '60s, and they didn't sustain it. One of the reasons was because they got banned for touring. They weren't able to tour the U.S. because the Support Association banned them. I don't know the story behind that, but I think it was the behavior or the treatment of support staff. So there was like 4 or 5 years they could not tour the U.S. And a lot of people believe that really hurt the momentum. So that was the first era of the Kinks. And then in around 70, the second era starts. And I always refer to it as their art house era because they made a lot of concept albums. They became more British in sound. Like they've never ran away from that anyway. Ray Davies always sung with a British accent. He's one of the few singers you can hear. Oh yeah, they're definitely British. But my favorite era kicked off in '77 when they signed to Arista, and they basically become an arena rock band. So that started with Sleepwalker and Misfits, but they really started hitting their stride with that genre, with Low Budget and Give the People What They Want, which might be my favorite Kinks record, but I went with this one because this is a great record too. But primarily I went with this one, and this is State of Confusion 1983. Because I think it has one of the greatest Kinks songs, and maybe one of the greatest songs. It's just so fun every time you play it on. Put it on, you're gonna be happy. And that's "Come Dancing" was on this. And so 1983, they hadn't charted in 13 years. So they had a big period, and it ran up to number 6. But before it ever got there, they Clive Davis, who was the president of Arista at the time, he heard it and he wanted him to sing it with a more American accent, and he didn't think it should be the lead single. So he wasn't a big supporter, but they held their ground. Some other people, yeah, and that video really helped. So when they produced the video, he saw it beforehand. And he said, okay, it can be the first single in the U.S. too. Oh, he was such a bright man, right? Like it only went to number 6. And it's an iconic song. Like people who don't even really like the Kinks, they love the song "Come Dancing." So big hit there. And I was trying to think, like 83, I don't know if the Stones, certainly not the Beatles or even the Beatles solo, did any of them have a top 10 hit as late as 83? Nah, I don't think so. So that's
no, because Harrison had Gone Tropo, right, which was like 82, 83, and that was a flop.
Mhm.
And McCartney had Tug of War in 82.
Yeah.
82, 83. Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
Got My Mind
so-
Set on You was probably the
Cloud
Cloud
9 was
Cloud
87.
9 was his biggest.
Yeah, so
biggest
okay, Harrison had one later. Yeah. But it's unusual to have that big of a break between the periods of success. So the other thing I like about this record is, it's got a great arena rock song, "State of Confusion." That was also a video, and I don't think it didn't chart, but it was heavy in rock rotation. I heard it on the radio quite a bit. But let me go back to "Come Dancing." Now, "Come Dancing" is this song. It's got, I'm sure everybody's heard it. It's got horns in it, and it's got it's got a very British story with it, with the vocabulary. Talks about the car park, the pally, and it's very British terms in that song he's using. but it really was a song of nostalgia for him because he had 6 older sisters. So when he was younger, talking about watching his sister going out to the dance halls and the boys would come pick him up. That's something, from his past that he had observed. He was much younger. And one of his sisters actually gave him his first guitar, and she came back home. She was in a bad relationship, was living in Canada, got out of the relationship, came back home, gave him his first guitar, and actually that same visit went to a dance hall and had a heart attack and died. So he was coming back home from being in a U.S. tour, and he had just bought one of those little Casio keyboards. So he actually wrote the song. He was thinking about his sister. He actually wrote the song on the plane on the way home.
It's like one of those little ones.
Yeah.
I have one. I have one over there.
It's amazing hearing stories about, like, Pete Townsend has a story about writing part of Who's Next on a little keyboard like that too, a real cheap department store thing.
And there were no headphones back in the day, so imagine you're on the plane listening to them make music. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if he was getting feedback.
Unless he had a private plane. At that point, they might have a private plane. So
yeah, it could be a private plane. But the song is kind of composite of all his sisters and everything he observed. But he was certainly thinking of his sister who had passed. But the song's a lot of fun. It's got these horns in it, and it definitely fits the video goes so well with the song. But what I really like is that they knew they were arena rock band. So in the middle, there's this killer Dave Davies rock riff. It's pretty heavy, but it fits right in. So that's a great song. Say the Confusion is an arena rock song. The other songs I want to call out, and I really wanted to call out, we don't talk about Ray Davies a lot, but we talk about great lyricists, like some of the best ever. Ray Davies is one of the best ever lyricists. Like, his wit and sarcasm that he can put into his writing and the way he can turn a phrase is just brilliant. Even if you don't like the song, you can listen to the lyrics and say, oh, that's a pretty interesting way to say that. My favorite album cut on it's Property, and it's a song about relationship going apart. It's kind of a slow tempo song. But the whole point is, the whole relationship boils down to splitting up the property, Don't Forget the Dance was another single. It did pretty well, 29 on the Hot 100. It's kind of a mid-tempo song. And I'm going to include a song that was on the CD. This is the album. This song isn't on there. But Long Distance was on the CD, and I love the song Long Distance. It was included in expanded cuts. Even on vinyl later on when they did a double version of this, they included that. So anyway, the Kinks make it tonight. This is a terrific album. I think if you want to try out the arena rock era of the Kinks, this is the one I would suggest, and we'll put it in the 500.
Thank you very much for that 17-hour dissertation. I think that officially surpassed the Oasis novel
Jake,
last week.
Jake, you owe me like 80 minutes of my life.
No, we need to go and do a shootout on Kinks versus Oasis.
The Kinks were the original Bad Brothers, my friend.
Say what?
They were the original Bad Brothers.
Sure, yeah. Sean, why don't you go? I'll go last today.
Okay. Throwing me. All right. So my first record. So I'm not going to be going into long dissertations like I usually do, because today I work the day before or in the morning. I listen to either interviews with the artists and different things. I forgot my headphones from work and didn't bring them into work today. But my first pick is Queen, Night at the Opera. I mean, do I have to say more than Bohemian Rhapsody? Do I really have to say more than that?
Is the car song on there? I think the car song.
Love of My Life and You're My Best Friend are on here. Mm-hmm. Worldwide sales 6 to 8 million seems low, but that's kind of where it was at. Peaked at number 4 on the US charts. Bohemian Rhapsody was a top 10 Hot 100 UK. And then what happened in the late, when did Wayne's World come out?
No, 92.
92.
So
92. One of my
And
favorite movies.
guess what appeared on the charts again at that year?
That's how I was introduced to them. Through
And
them.
that's how a lot of people, newer generation, that's where they learned of Queen, was through Wayne's World.
All my
And
friends and I heard her next try to headbang like the kids in the back of the car.
no one even knew what a pacer was until then. But again, they wanted to make
Was it a
rock
pacer
opera.
or a gremlin?
It's a pacer.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pacer. So let's see what else. I don't have a whole lot on it, but again, I'm gonna keep it short because Gonzo is probably gonna use up all our time this next one.
Well, I will say, I think
I agree.
Bohemian Rhapsody is one of the strangest, greatest rock songs. It's a weird song, but it is so well done and interesting.
Lefty Mass says "The Level of My Life" is a great song. That's such a sentimental song because it's for Mary. What's her last name? He was his first girlfriend. He always was he was her best friend.
Yeah,
He willed her his whole estate to her too.
I want to say Hopkins, but it's not Hopkins.
No.
That's
And his
somebody else.
cats, correct?
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
cats. But yeah, this is also when we have parties up in New England. People get very drunk. Sometimes they'll pass out, and I put this record on, and all of a sudden, everybody's waking up, coming out of the woodwork to come running out to sing to this song. And it's always just those moments with our parties when we play this song. It just brings everybody, and everyone knows, and we're all singing. And I'll share a video next year because it just goes crazy.
Janet, she may be the only one that I think knows where Freddie Mercury is buried. I believe. I think it was very private.
Oh,
Like she might be the only one that knows. If I've read correctly, who knows if Brian May and company knows? But I think she may be the only one.
His wife. Oh, his girlfriend. Yes, not me, but her. Yeah, she would know. Yeah.
Well,
interesting. He had a live-in lover for quite a while in that time period with the mid '80s, and I don't think he got definitely not as much as her. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have a 3-minute on the record first tonight, but I just want to point out Sean's presentation will be linked to something else, and that'll be the first time we've ever done that on the show. So,
okay,
more to come.
What's it linked to?
I know. I can't wait to find
Linked
out.
to you.
Is that the cliffhanger?
Yeah, it's linked to you.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's a great album. Also, the movie was great. I mean, it wasn't 100% accurate, but it was amazing. It was well done. The performance was spot on, exact, like Live Aid. Was it Live Aid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that was a great not documentary, but it was a great movie. And I love movies that brings you back to the music.
Mm-hmm.
So Jake, you're up next. What do we got?
Jimi Hendrix, Axis, Bold as Love. And that is my first record for the evening.
Is that it? That's all we're getting?
That's it? You're not going to say anything else about it? Come on, man.
I just mess with it, guys.
Now we're like, stretch the time.
And have a lovely evening, everyone. So this is Jimi's second album, 7 months after the lovely Are You Experienced, which we've talked about this a lot of the artists during the 60s, the amount of music that was produced in short period of times when artists practically lived at the studio, and the amount of work that they got out in short period of time. If you go and you look at Are You Experienced, and then you take 7 months later, right, Are You Experienced is going up the charts, and they're already coming out with another album. It's just amazing what these musicians during that time period did. This one was also produced by Chas Chandler. He did Are You Experienced? He also did Axis Bold as Love. Release date was December 1st, 1967. And did peak on the Billboard Top 200. And what's crazy is that it didn't have really any like major hot singles, but there are a few songs on this record that I absolutely love, and that is Bold as Love, that is Spanish Castle Magic, which has just got an amazing riff. It's just it packs a punch. It's got If 6 Was 9, and it has one of the best Hendrix songs of all time, which is Little Wing. And I'll tell you what, I used to listen to that song all the time before bed. And then around I think 1992, I started getting into Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I would listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan's Little Wing and Jimmy's Little Wing. And that's one song where I'm very weird on artists doing covers of originals, right? And there's only a handful that can do the deed. And I got to say, Stevie Ray Vaughan's version of Little Wing was unbelievable because it was a much longer version and it was all instrumental. But this is probably my number one Hendrix record, just because it's a little bit of a different sound compared to what Are You Experience was, which it had a little more psychedelia kind of involved. They probably would still put this album within the genre as well. It didn't sell a whole heck of a lot originally. I think it probably sold under 1 million copies when it first came out. Of course, over time, it's probably done, well over a few million. This particular press, I think, is a 2007, 2008 Japanese press. It is on some extremely thick wax. And I still feel that even though this thing was critically acclaimed, I got to tell you, I've always felt that Axis Bold as Love is a very underrated Hendrix record. And I think it's one that everybody should get a try for sure. So that's my first record of the night. Jimi Hendrix, Axis Bold is Love.
Good one.
Yeah, great one. Thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome.
Can I mention, without going down the rabbit hole, that during the pre-chat, I affirmed Jake about his love of Revolver tonight. So
thank you.
We won't go down the rabbit hole, but I just wanted to mention that.
Johnny he isn't watching now, but on his way to work tomorrow morning when he's listening to this, he is going to swerve off the road.
He'll be like, "Oh,
hold up, just a second, Janet. I want you to look in the camera and say, Johnny, Revolver is better than Sgt. Pepper. Do it for me one time, right here.
Ready?
Right here, right now. Yes,
right
go.
Here, right now. In my Delilah voice, Johnny, Revolver is better than Sgt. Pepper.
Boom.
Johnny's
Well, I was telling them, I go here. I'm going to keep it in a nutshell.
On his way home, because a half hour to work, and then
he might wreck his car.
No, we don't want that. No. So I'm a bigger Beatles fan than a lot of the other things we're talking about tonight. So, but I don't want to overshadow Johnny. But I was talking about how Rubber Soul's my favorite Beatles album. That was my favorite since I started liking the Beatles. But as an artist, I love Rubber Soul and Revolver as the precursor to Pepper. Pepper wouldn't have happened without those two. And it's when they're growing up, right? They're not quite the boy band. They're taking ownership. And Vinyl Canyon is in honor of Laurel Canyon. And so there's a bit of a back and forth competition going on between like the West Coast and the Beatles and the influence back and forth. The Beach Boys do, Pet Sounds, they do Sgt. Pepper, but all that, and Dylan's involved, and the Byrds are involved, and the Mamas and Papas, and there's all that backing and forth thing going on. So there's a really great, like, bulging scene there, like an era of change and the way things have evolved. And I think that was what led up to Pepper, what makes them, I think, better in that way. Now, Pepper, of course, is the pinnacle, but I always think of like the foreplay as being best. So, yeah.
Again, for the second week in a row, a guest comes on and brings up an old episode. Johnny wanted to talk about the best years of music. Janet's wanting to talk about
the Beatles
being better than Sgt. Pepper.
Well, and that's the good thing about music is technically no one's wrong.
No, it's all personal opinion.
Although
we just like to root for
guys are wrong.
It's like rooting for your favorite team,
But you guys are wrong. But that's all right.
That's so good when you're right.
So if you guys want to see a great documentary, you got to check out Echo in the Canyon, where they do talk a lot about this backing and forth thing. And that's what helped inspire the name Vinyl Canyon for me. It was a nice play on words, but they do talk about the influence of the Beatles on America. And that's what the whole doc's about. The whole LA scene from 1965 through 75.
Which involves, Warren, Linda Ronstadt, all
those. Yeah, that was the second era.
And all that stuff. It just...
Yeah, somebody in chat was like, well, there was Charles Manson. I go, we don't talk about that here.
Well, if you see Once Upon a Time in America, they end up in Laurel Canyon.
Right.
And, yeah, you have to watch the movie. But... Yeah. All right, so Janet, your record's up next, right? You're up next.
Is it? Did we get through everybody? Okay.
Yeah,
we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Although you used all your time up when trying to defend Gonzo.
No defense when it's truth.
All right, this one's also in a frame because it hangs on my bedroom wall. I'm going to echo with this here. All right, so I'm going to go with something more current. Ray LaMontagne's Ouroboros. The name Ouroboros actually means a snake that is in a circle. It's like a historical like symbolism where it's actually eating its own tail, I think. But the idea is this is called a sound circle. And so a record that's a sound circle means that if you had it end to end, you could play it continuously, and everything's themed on here. So the reason I chose this is because all of our Whatnot fans, a lot of people like Pink Floyd. If you love Pink Floyd, you want to check out the sound because this is his ode to Pink Floyd sound.
I almost bought that today.
Did you buy? You almost bought this?
Mm-hmm.
No way. No, this is my very first record. I actually bought it at a record store day before I actually owned a player on my own, which is pretty cool because I liked it so much. And I was going to just hang it up in my room. And then, of course, I got into vinyl, went deep diving. But what I like most about this album, I've seen it live. And so to see it, he played My Morning Jacket on here. I'll tell you more about the record, too. Let's get into some of the stats here. So it was his 6th album. It's his psychedelic era. So he was known for a lot of folk and country, not country, but like folk and Indian stuff early on. And then he departed between this and what was the other one? The song that had the song Lavender on it. He had like 2 records that were psychedelic. And then he changed back to where his roots were again. Because people like either loved it or hated it. Because I like psych rock, I liked it. It was on RCA. The producer was Jim James, My Morning Jacket. So he toured with My Morning Jacket when this was re-released in 2016. It has only 8 songs, about 40 minutes long, and the lead single is Hey No Pressure. And I like because like the very beginning of the album is very like intense, and it has like a climax to it, and then it kind of like you get to the other side and it's like and it kind of eases off and it's like more relaxed and you're taking the pressure and stress off, and it's just really well put together. It hit the Billboard Top 200. It peaked at number 13, which isn't bad. It says here, some sources describe the album peaking in the teens on the Billboard chart. The most consistent peak in the mainstream listings about 13. It was on the alternative rock chart. It had a strong performance noted on genre charts, IAG top placements on the alternative rock list, and some aggregated tracking. First week sales were about 28,000 copies. Certification, no widely reported RA, because he's kind of like a niche artist. He's not gonna be like your top 10 artist, but if you know his stuff, you're gonna be a big fan of his. And I've seen him 4 times. I had tickets for the 5th one, and I was out ill, so I couldn't go that day.
So Janet, let me ask you a question. Does he interact? Does he interact with the audience much? Because he's
he's not good with that. That's one thing I don't like about him. So I saw him. When I last saw him, it was in Waterbury, which is my hometown, which is kind of cool. I had the poster signed and everything. And I didn't see him sign it, but I bought it. People wanted to play Jolene, and he was in his era where he wasn't doing all the old hits. And then he came back to it, and he's like, I don't want to play Jolene. And we're like, damn, what the heck was that about? So like in terms of fan reception, it was like,
Free bird,
wow.
free bird.
Right? I think he just wanted to do his new stuff. And it's funny because like right after that, like, or maybe I saw him at the Oakdale when he said that. Yeah, maybe he played it in Waterbury, and I saw him in the last show. It was at the Oakdale, and he was just like really ornery about it. And then he did like a tour of the old hits. Like right after that, he must have gotten some kickback on that. And then he went around the country doing all the old hits again. And now he's back to his old style. Like he has some new records that's come out since Monovision, and I think he's coming out with something new soon. But it's all his old style. And I think has it been 20 years since Trouble? I think so. We were talking about that.
Was I think you're right. Yeah.
2013 or 2005? Okay.
I believe, yeah.
Didn't you buy one of his records from me? Was it you?
No, I talked about it in your show though.
Oh.
You were selling the second album. What was that called? Not
one of the worst things that you could say in a concert is get on the mic and say, "This one's off our latest record."
Oh yeah, because nobody knows it. Yeah.
Well, McCartney does that a lot.
Yeah. Well, I would encourage. Janet's right. I have all the Ray on CD, and there's definitely 2 different kinds. And,
oh yeah.
If you do like the psych, there are a couple records that this one being one of them, but I like the other Ray, and
I like that Ray better. I just think this is different. And I think if you like Kinks, you know that one.
Got old Ray, new Ray.
Actually, my favorite Ray is Monovision. I like that record because I Was Born to Love You. That is like one of my favorite songs in the last 10 years.
To love you.
he can channel some Van Morrison
Okay.
every now and then, and I'm a big Van fan, and I hear on certain songs I hear a lot of Van Morrison. Like there's another song on there, "Roll Me, Mama, Roll Me," that has a Van
Yeah.
Morrison vibe. So big fan of that record. But I think a lot of people might not. I don't even know who that is, but he did have like 3 gold records. You know,
Mhm.
at his time in the spotlight, but he still cranks out records every few years.
You'll find him on a lot of the indie charts. Like when I listen to the indie station at school, because it's chill, you know, and it works for well for an art room. And so that's where I picked up. I found him through my friend, and that's where she picked up on him. Like he's kind of like the line of like Fleet Foxes, Gregory Alan Isaacoff, that kind of vibe, you know.
Yeah, I love Gregory, man. He's amazing, man.
Right.
Now, what size venue does he perform in?
I've always seen him at smaller ones. Yeah.
And that's
Like
that's the
like
best way to see an
2,500?
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to see.
Yeah, like
an artist.
2,500. Not like a club, but like definitely like you know, not a massive stadium by any means. No.
I think
He's
that's
more
the
of a
best
smaller
way to
guy.
I think it's the best way to see shows. I saw Colin Hay at the Paramount in downtown Austin. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just
Perfect.
enough. Yeah. I saw John Mellencamp at a small theater like that, and it was great. He
Oh, I
did the
believe
old
it.
hits and he did some of the new stuff.
Did he smell like cigarettes?
He sounded like cigarettes. And people were throwing their bras at him, which we thought was funny. I was like, he's like old as dirt, and they're still throwing bras at him, and he was like, what the hell? He does his own paintings. I thought that was cool. He's an artist in his own right. So is Bob Dylan.
He's a very good
cool,
painter.
right?
Yeah, they're very
And
cool.
he makes his own album covers from the paintings, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of his self-portraits. I've even gone on his website and looked at some of the stuff. I've actually thought about buying some of it. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
All right, Scott, you're up next. I think. Yeah,
And
Scott.
thank you for that, Scott. Moving on to Sean. Let's go on for Sean's number 2.
Dang.
Well, you guys are seeing why we made Sean the MC and not Jake. There's a big talent discrepancy there.
But
Jake.
we put him in charge of our HR department, though.
I see too many squirrels. There's no way I could be MCing.
All right, so I'm actually going 2019 here on this record, but I'm probably going to get some people disagreeing. Like it's going to be the Black Keys.
Yes.
So it's not
I've seen
going
them
to
live
be.
too. They're great.
Yeah, it's not going to be El Camino,
I was going to say no El Camino, huh?
and it's not going to be Brothers, which are probably their 2
Brothers.
most famous one.
No gold on the ceiling for us tonight.
It's going to be this one. Let's
Nice.
rock. This record, I don't even think the other records are close to this. This record is a gem. 12 songs. The longest is like 3:57. Most of them clock in around 3 minutes, and they do what the Black Keys do well. They get into that dirty blues sound and they just rock it. And Dan and Patrick, got their thing going on. And that's what I like about it. It's a return, like it's like the thing they do the best, that's all they do on this record. And that's why I like it. I remember first time I heard, first of all, let me say I was a fan. Then they put out Turn Blue, and I was like, what is this pile of crap? I'm not a big fan, Turn Blue. I thought it was a terrible step artistically for them. I think they came back home, and they put together their best collection of songs. 12 songs. I like 10 of these songs, and they just do. This is the Black Keys version of AC/DC. AC/DC does the same album every time. It's all about execution. I think the Black Keys executed well. The first song I heard was Low High, and it was actually used to promote the NCAA tournament coming up, and they were playing it in all the commercials on CBS and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, it must be a new Black Keys song. And there was. It came out a little bit in advance of this record. So I was really anxious to get it. Low High stayed my favorite song for all of 2019. Love that song. But, great tracks on here like Shine a Little Light. That's the opener. Great song. Get Yourself Together. I could go on for a long time, but all I can say is, pick it up on, listen to it on streaming or go pick it up on CD or vinyl. This is the Black Keys' best album.
I need to listen to this one. I've not heard this one yet. Yeah.
By far my favorite.
I think Joe Williamson will be happy because he's a big Black Crowes fan.
Black Keys or Black Crowes?
Black Keys, sorry.
Yeah, he is. Well, they kind of mix the blues with they've got a little R&B streak in them, too. And that comes out in a little bit of this record.
Scott, looks like you're Stacy's favorite.
I had to earn it. Stacey's making me earn it.
She is making you earn it.
Rigged.
So my next album, my album is I guess I'll go backwards and not tell you what the answer to it is yet, but there's a few artists that their debut albums garnished so much Grammy awards and some hype, and I think this one falls a little short of Billie Eilish and Gonzo knows what I'm talking about. Christopher Cross. Their debut albums were ginormous and garnished 6 Grammys, I think. This one I think only got 4 or 5 for her debut. Only. And this record, if you think about it, it was underproduced to perfection. Where I'm saying was the voice carried the record. They didn't put way too much into it, like extra around. No sitar, which you would think maybe. Being the daughter of Ravi Shankar, you would think maybe. But this is Norah Jones, Come Away With Me. Came out in 2002. Sold over 27 million records worldwide. Monster. Had Don't Know Why, Feeling the Same Way, Come Away With Me. Peaked at number 1 on the Billboard charts. It was more on the adult contemporary charts. That got the most airplay. But the voice, I mean, this voice was haunting. This makes me want to get the best audiophile pressing that I can find of this. But yeah, the songwriting and the voice, just amazing.
Yeah, that's going to be a record. You know, we like in 25 years from now, people will still be talking about that record. It'll be like Joni Mitchell Blue.
Well, it's been 20 years since they made it. She made it. I was in college for that one.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's great. It's a great record.
And it was on Blue Note.
Yeah.
It's
still on Blue Note.
Oh yeah.
I saw her live. She was my friend was working for a small venue in New York City for a while, and Norah Jones had made her name there. It's called the Living Room. I don't know if they're still around anymore. And I got to be able to see her when she was touring with the Little Willies before she got to be known for being with them. She hadn't released the album yet. So I brought a bunch of friends from Connecticut. We went down and we were in a very, very small venue. It was very cool. She was like feet away from me. It was wicked cool.
She comes from good genes. I mean, her dad is Ravi Shankar.
Yeah. I don't think he was really involved in her life, which is sad though.
He was not. Very sad.
Doesn't he have a lot of children? I'm under the impression that
yeah, word on the street.
So
he got around.
So in 2003, it won Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album. Norah Jones won Best New Artist. Don't Know Why won Record of the Year, and also she won Best Female Pop Vocal Performance.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's one of the biggest debut albums of the 21st century. Just amazing. So that is my pick for this week. So Stacey, I'm picking some female artists. Does that count for anything?
She gave you a +1. You're up.
Yeah.
This one's scoreboard. Jake is minus 217, so he's got a lot of work to do.
That's really funny. So Mrs. Shark asked if she sang The Painter. I don't recall because it's 2003. That's a long time ago, but it was a great show. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I think this record that I'm gonna bring up, I think will make up maybe at least 10 points. That'll put me at 257.
I'm ready to hit the mute button.
I'll take that. No, this is really good. We're still keeping it in the 60s. We're going to album that came out in 1968. Again, this one's tough. This one's tough because I love the follow-up album after this equally. And it's already been one that has been mentioned in the Essential 500. But this is one that needs to be mentioned. It deserves to be mentioned because the album is that good and it is that intimate. And that's what I love about it because it doesn't have a big band. It's got a bass player, acoustic. You've got a flautist playing, and it's just very intimate. And it's kind of a departure for the stuff that he did when he was with them. And this album is my favorite Van Morrison album, which is Astral Weeks. This came out November 29th, 1968, running time of 42 minutes and 5 seconds. The crazy thing about this, when this album was made, Van Morrison was broke. I mean, he had no money. And there was a big contract dispute that was going on, I think, with Bang Records, which is who he was with prior to with the album of Blowing Your Mind, which had a lot of, I think, them cuts and kind of had that sound. Brown Eyed Girl, stuff like that, right? And at that time, the record producer, of that particular label really wanted Van Morrison to go in a particular direction. And Van Morrison, as everybody knows, has always had a reputation of being difficult to deal with, right? And he's kind of always gone, off the sound, just the sound of his own drum, bang of his own drum. He's always kind of gone his way. And I think during the time he was with Bang Records, the head of Bang Records had a heart attack and died. And his wife basically took over, and there was a huge thing because I think the original guy had ties to the mob, and there was a lot of back and forth, and I think there were rumors of him where they were going to try to have him deported. And what he did is he married his then girlfriend to basically handle that. So what they did is they moved up to, I think, Massachusetts and started performing in local clubs.
Where?
And in Mass.
No, what do you call it?
Massachusetts.
They call
So-
work at time you said it.
So he went, what's was said? So they went and performed there, and they found a bass player. They found a flautist, and a lot of the sounds that were created from that eventually went into the studio and started making Astral Weeks. And that's what I really like about it. It wasn't critically acclaimed when it came out. In fact, Moondance was really the record that broke him,
I like Moondance.
which came out in 1970. And I think this gave him a little notoriety, and I think he had a little bit of fame per se with Brown Eyed Girl and some stuff with them. But this had a very kind of jazz folk sound, and that's what I like about it. It's what I love about the album is that it's very simple, just in a sense of listening, right? And he did do a 40th anniversary tour where he played Astral Weeks, which I think he did in 2008, which I believe was at the Hollywood Bowl, I think. I've never even looked. I'd love to know if that's actually on wax or not. I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's something there. But, some of the songs, obviously, best song on the record, in my opinion, is probably Sweet Thing, which we were talking about artists that cover original artists so well. Jeff Buckley did an amazing cover of a lot of Van Morrison stuff. And speaking of Scott, you'd gone on and said that Ray LaMontagne kind of sounded, you said, a little bit like Van Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
If there was one artist that I would say really took a lot from Van Morrison and kind of carried the torch, you might agree with me, you might not, but that man would be Adam Duritz. I think Adam Duritz channels Van Morrison probably more so than any other artist that I've listened to probably over the last 30 years. But a record that everybody should definitely give a listen to if you haven't. I know everybody knows Moondance, but Astral Weeks is definitely a record that I think everyone will enjoy. Give it a listen.
Great record. Great record. Right in that run where he was just, Van Morrison was on fire.
And it's crazy too, because he was still relatively, I think he was known, but still relatively unknown. And then once Moondance came out, like, he exploded. But this record, in my opinion, is damn near equally as good. It's completely different, but it deserves a mention.
I'm noticing a trend where you like the album right before they hit it big. I like that.
So sometimes, yeah, right. I get the reputation of the first three, right?
Or they never hit it big like the Rentals.
Hey, they're huge at Jake's house. They're huge at Jake's house.
It gets played once a week, guys.
I had to.
Once a
Sorry.
week. Someone check for me and let me know if Astral Weeks live at the Hollywood Bowl, if they have that, because that's definitely something I would love to get.
I don't. Well, maybe.
I've never heard of the rentals. I got to listen to them.
Adam, 100%. So yeah,
Just
I don't-
listen to Weezer. It's a better version.
Oh, okay. All right.
Adam said good flautism on Veed and Fleece. Yes,
I don't know if Adam was on here.
you don't pull no punches, but you can't pull the river.
Jake just picked me up the MOV copy of Veed and Fleece. I can't wait to get it and hear it.
Can't push it.
All
It's a great record. That's an underrated one. We'll get to that one at some point, Scott, if we haven't already.
All right, so we finished with that one. That was short for you. So Janet, you're next with the
Yeah,
last
I'm
record.
going to go short this week.
Classic. This goes to the classic one. So I chose. I had what was my first one?
That's what happens when you try to kick me out.
We didn't kick you out.
Sarah McLachlan was nostalgia because it's not my 90s era. And then Ouroboros was the current one. This is like growing up era. Queen's the game. So we have her second Queen of the night.
And that's a first. We've never done that. We've never had two albums by the same artist.
Oh, and I didn't know Sean was going to bring on Queen until I saw your notes today. So I had no idea.
I didn't know until you slipped and told me that you were doing Queen.
Oh, yeah, I slipped on. I thought you'd know because you're part of the group here.
I never look at what people are picking usually.
At least you're surprised then.
Mhm.
So next, if I ever come back on again, if you invite me back on, I'll have to be like on the down low. So the reason I chose this one is because I think I was talking to Scott about bringing Queen on, and he mentioned this one, and I like this one too because it has so many great hits on it. Play the Game, Another One Bites the Dust, A Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and then Save Me's on here. So like you can't go wrong with it. It has like major hits. And there's a neat story about Another One Bites the Dust. John Deacon, the bassist, had been hanging out with Chic and Nile Rodgers, and so it was the inspiration of Nile Rodgers and Chic that led to the bass line that was very ubiquitous here on Another One Bites the Dust. And then Crazy Little Thing Called Love is an homage to Elvis because he passed a few years prior to that, and it was one of the only times Freddie Mercury actually played guitar on the album. Right, usually he didn't play an instrument. Let me see if I can find my notes here. Okay, hold on. The Game. Okay, so it was their 8th studio album in 1980, and I think it's I want to say like 1978 through 1982 is a very interesting era because like the old like prog rockers and glam rockers are finding their identity in this new wave era, and I think this is like where they become more like an 80s band versus a 70s band. They're starting to progress. It was released in June of 1980. It predated me by 2 months, guys. And that was in the UK, and then exactly a month before my birthday on July 1st. It was recorded throughout 79 and 80 at Musicland Studios in Munich, Germany. And it was on the EMI and Elektra labels. It was produced by Reinhold Mack, and it's only 35 minutes long, 35:42. And it has rock, pop, punk, funk, rock, disco infused new wave elements. So it definitely is like who was before this? Jazz or News of the World? I'm trying to think. That was definitely much more of a rock album. This is much more new wave influenced. It was in the Billboard 200 US. The Game is the only Queen album to top the US charts. How about that? The UK album chart was number 1, of course, because they love him. They love them. The worldwide sales estimated 12 million copies sold globally. US sales were around 4 million copies sold, making their best-selling studio album in the United States, tied with the News of the World, which had, of course, We Are the Champions and another one. We Are the Champions and shoot. What's the one that follows that or precedes that?
We Will Rock You.
Yeah, We Rock You. Yeah, duh. Hello. The one that's played at every sports game in America. And then major singles, like I said, is Another One Bites the Dust. It reached number 1. It was a massive global hit. Crazy Little Thing Called Love is rockabilly infused. Played the Game, popular single showcasing Queen's more melodic side, and Save Me is another save. Oh, so they agreed with me. That's the ones I mentioned. They agreed with me. This is a la ChatGPT. I don't tend to use AI a lot, but it made my life a lot easier this week by doing it. Also, it's the first Queen album to use synthesizer, specifically the Oberheim OBX. Oh, not the OBS, guys, the OBX. And marking a departure from the earlier no-synth approach, a shift toward a more concise, varied styles compared to earlier multi-section epics, blending pop, rock, funk, and new wave. And Reinhold Mack must have been a new producer, so he helped steer them to a slicker, modern sound. It still remains one of their most commercially successful albums, and that was all repeated there. So yeah, I think it's like a solid collection builder. If you don't have this one, this is definitely a must-have in your collection. And it's again, like I had mentioned, Queen Rock Montreal. This preceded that, and it's kind of interesting because what after that was the Hot Space was not a good album. It was kind of like, unless you like dance music, they kind of turned this way, and then they came back, I think, with Radio Gaga, or was there something before?
Mhm.
Yeah, they came back again with more of a much more hardcore 80s sound. So yeah, I love Queen. They're my second favorite group. So thanks for letting me do Queen tonight.
And it does have a great rock song. "Need Your Lovin' Tonight." John Deacon pen song is that's a rock and Queen song. So they did slip one in there. So yeah, it's side one of that record is, if you look at the songs, it's perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I agree with you.
Definitely. So Scott, you're next, or is it me? I forget what order because Jake changed it up on us.
So we don't put it's me, but that's a good example why we don't let Jake have any oversight at all.
I just wanted to change it up tonight. That's all.
All right. Well,
Keeping it fresh.
you know, Adam, when he was on, he scolded us for not having any Bob Dylan, and I think we all like, well, we did a whole half an episode on Bob Dylan because we did the top 5.
We gave him a break for
So he put one in, and I was thinking, oh yeah, sometimes when you do the top 5, you think those records are in the essential. They're not, you know. So I'm gonna get ahead of criticism here and put my favorite Bob Seger record into the essential 500, which is "Against the Wind," 1980. This is really when I was put.
Bye, Sean.
I think the either YouTube or Restream, somebody's having some trouble tonight. I don't think it's us.
Maybe I'm hitting buttons.
We took those buttons away from you, so
that would be interesting because
Oh, hey.
you don't have any ability to push buttons, but
You might think that.
anyway, "Against the Wind." You know, why is my favorite Seger? And I will think maybe it has a little bit to do with age related. Like I was 15 years old when this came out, so I was really getting heavy into the music and buying records. And this is probably one of the first 20 records I bought. And
that's another one of those records, like the game of those. It's just every song is a hit on there, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, it just feels like it. I mean, even the ones that weren't hits, they feel like they could have been hits. Like "No Man's Land" is one of my favorite songs on the record. It was never a single, but "Against the Wind" was the biggest hit on here. It was a top 5. What was the other single? "You'll Accompany Me" was a top 20 song. The song, if you would have asked me which was the biggest hit off of this before I did research for the show, I would have said "Fire Lake." It's got Don Henley and Glenn Frey on it, but it actually did not chart in the top 40. But it wasn't me. It was played a lot on rock radio format. So that's the one I heard the most. And the one I heard the second most was probably "Her Strut." That's just a straight ahead kind of rock song.
Yeah,
so great tunes across this. Even the non-singles are good. Like I mentioned, "No Man's Land." 2 songs, "Horizontal Bop" and "Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight." They got that Memphis sound to them. And when he gets in that, I like that style when he does that style of song. And I think I got all the good ones. Only songs I don't really care for on this is "Good for Me," and I'm not a big fan of "Long Twin Silverline," but the other 7 songs I love. So "Against the Wind," Bob Seger, 1980, added to the Essential 500 tonight.
Yeah, definitely a collection builder. I agree with you, Scott.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't love "Shakedown" off of Beverly Hills Cop 2?
No, that's a terrible song.
So do you guys know how they got the name the Silver Bullet Band? Do you know the trivia on that one?
No, I do not.
So when I was doing my Bob Seger show, I found out. So he goes and talks to Letterman about it in the 90s. And they, for the longest time, couldn't figure out a name. And they went back and forth, were arguing about it. And one day they got their checks in the mail. And it said Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. And I think the managers made it up. He said, "This is what we're doing." And that's their name. There's the manager who decided because he got tired of them arguing.
It's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
Stop the argument. Just do it. Just do it.
Let's get it done. Yep.
All right. So I guess I'm up next. This album I have now that I'm doing next. I always check to see who did the cowbell. Peter Asher did the cowbell. But this album has Don Henley, Timothy B. Schmidt, and Glenn Fry, um, and Russ Kunkel. Everyone should know who Russ Kunkel is.
Mm-hmm.
He's been everywhere. So when I name those names, you're going who? Oh, it's the Eagles. No,
Mm-mm.
it's Linda Ronstadt. Heart
Mhm.
Like a Wheel. So before the Eagles were the Eagles, they played on Linda Ronstadt's albums. Um, this was her fifth studio album, fourth album, I think. I think it was a fourth or fifth studio album. This is the first. This is her. This kind of figured. This is her kind of her big. This is where they put her on the map to a whole different level. This was on Capitol Records, even though she had finished with them and she signed with Asylum. She still owed Capitol one more record, and that's why Capitol got this. And then she moved over to Asylum when she started covering my buddy Warren Zevon's records. So this peaked at number one on the Billboard 200. I had You're No Good, which was number one. When Will I Be Loved? It was in the top 10, and Heat Wave. Um, so this is, I mean, she's kind of country rock, pop, R&B, just a voice that's just amazing, and this put her to the next level um, with her singing power and her presence. She covered in Eagles. The Eagles, they first album came out, I think, in '72, and it kind of Eagles had a slow start until Linda sang one of their songs, and it really brought them the fame. I mean, who's bigger than the Eagles? I mean, at this point now, with selling albums.
They're
But
coming back to the Sphere actually in April. Yeah.
yeah, he was just doing an interview. Is he the last one left? Who's left with in that group?
Joe Walsh is still there.
Oh, that's right. Joe, I didn't,
Yeah.
okay, so most of them are still there.
Yeah.
But this their last go around, I'm sure. But Linda definitely was the one that you can thank her for the Eagles. But again, and watch the documentary. I've watched a couple of different documentaries on her, and I really do like that Boy Scout outfit. That's really what I'm gonna say. Is I like that Boy Scout outfit. It sounds weird though, doesn't it? But whatever. I don't think it won any big. I don't think it won any Grammys, did it? Got multiple Grammy nominations, but I don't know if she really got anything for that. But again, then for the rest of the '70s, she dominated the rest of the '70s with albums throughout those years. So this is definitely an essential because it is the one that really brought her to the next level. It sold 3 to 4 million in the U.S. and or worldwide. But that's my pick.
Yeah, and that's I know a lot of people watch our on Whatnot, either buyers or sellers or both. And you can go into a lot of rooms and find Linda Ronstadt records for like $2-3 sometimes, and it might be confusing which ones to buy. But there are a couple, and this one I think would be the primary one. You'd say, okay, if you want to get a Linda Ronstadt album feel, this is a good one to pick up. There are a couple that are good to pick up, and in general, I'd just say buy Greatest Hits Volume 1, Volume 2. You got it. But what I will give Linda, and probably not since the R&B phase or some of the country, is somebody who could just go out and basically those 3 songs are all cover songs.
Yeah.
Like, who can have a massive album just with cover songs? So it really told you how talented she was with her voice, and she's cute, too. So that helped out. But I've always thought that was strange with her. If you look at her songs, she's not a songwriter, and half of them are songs. Half her hits are songs somebody else already had a hit with. That
But I think she was known for her redoing her own arrangements. So even though she wasn't a songwriter, she made it her own twist.
Yeah. Because she did a lot of Zevon songs. Hasten Down the Wind is one of her albums. That's a Warren Zevon song.
Flew by You.
She does Mohammed's Radio, which is an amazing song, especially by her.
One of the most beautiful voices ever.
I mean, her version of Tummy and Dice, amazing.
Talk about an instrument.
Yeah.
And then she always challenged herself to different things. When she went to Broadway with the Pirates Dance, and then she tackled
mariachi music,
the Spanish music that her father listened too.
Which I have that album.
She has
It's
3
amazing.
albums. She has 3 of those albums.
It's coming out with a repress. It won't be as expensive if you want the repress. Yeah, she
Well,
just released it.
I have that one, but there's 2 others that I need to get that are pretty pricey. I'm sure there might be a Japanese press on that one too. I don't know, but so that
If
was
you guys get a chance, listen to her autobiography. She doesn't read it because she's got that. It's not Parkinson's. She's got another disease, but it's really, really informative. And her story about Jim Morrison's pretty great. Yeah.
And I'll share a documentary that I watched with her in it. It's the LA Sound. It's actually focusing more on Bonnie Raitt, but it has her on it, Linda and Warren Zevon. That whole LA music sound that kind of goes over that, and it's pretty cool, especially when you see her and Zevon, all those people when they were younger in their own element. I mean, it's pretty cool documentary. I think it's called Wonderland. It's a Dutch documentary.
Okay.
And, if you type in Wonderland Dutch documentary, you'll find it. It starts off with Warren Zevon up at the observatory, and it's pretty cool. So you guys watch that, and you kind of get a cool little interview with Linda at her Malibu home. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Last album for me, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. When it came out, I absolutely hated it. Couldn't stand it. And it lost me for years before years, all caps, before I came back to them. And this very well could have been the album that took me to the first 3, because the first 3 records of this band were unbelievable. But it has to be mentioned because so many people loved it and loved the progression of this band and where they were going. I had to mention it because it's probably by far one of the biggest departures I have ever seen any band do from what they were doing at the time this album came out. There's nothing that I could think of that compares to what this band did. And that is Radiohead's Kid A, which was released October 2nd, 2000. I couldn't stand the record. I hated it. And when it came out, it immediately went number 1, probably sold 1 million copies, but I think it did that because of the success that, the prior records had. OK Computer was triumphant, right? I mean, it was the album of albums. So everybody was anticipating what's coming out. OK Computer comes out. It's completely different. And I think those sales were an indication more so from OK Computer. And what was crazy about it is that when the album came out, if y'all remember, this was, I don't know who came up with it, whether it was a band decision, but they released no singles. Okay. They didn't do really any interviews. They didn't do anything to really promote it. No photo shoots, no nothing. But what they did is they did little animations, right? And this is probably around the time they really started kind of moving those albums. They were doing a lot of stuff when internet was starting to take off. So for me, it was they lost me. I didn't get it. I'll be the first to tell you, I wasn't on that train. When it came out, Radiohead was probably going to be the band because I love the Oasis. Y'all know I love Oasis. Britpop was starting to kind of fade out by that time. And, I was listening to a lot of the Bends. OK Computer blew my mind, and I was just eagerly excited to see what they were going to come out with. When I heard Everything in Its Right Place, I was like, what the hell is this? I don't get it. This isn't OK Computer. This isn't the Bends. It's nothing. But now, being an older man, I have to go back and reflect and look at it and say, what a hell of a departure to basically take the success and ride that wave, what they were doing, and say, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and just do a full 360 and do what we want to do and do it our way. And everybody kind of followed and went with. And like I said, I mean, this was, they really started getting experimental. Obviously did a lot of electronic stuff, kind of krautrock type style of music. I think when I got back into it was Tom York's solo record, The Eraser, which I think came out in 2006. I think someone could check that for me. When I listened to that, loved it. And then I went back and I listened to Kid A and then started kind of following back. It took me about 6 years to pretty much kind of get back into Radiohead and enjoy it. But I think that's why this album has to be mentioned, is because it's completely different. It's a band that totally just went the opposite direction, whether it was premeditated or not. But whatever it was at the time, I always felt like it was a career killer of a record. Could have killed them. But they prevailed, became one of the greatest bands of all time. Their live shows, had record crowds. So whatever they were doing, obviously they knew a hell of a lot more than what, the music listener peon that would be me, right? Or some of the others that didn't come around.
Well, things had gotten harder right after OK Computer too, which means, would you say it was like krautrock? I don't know this album, but was it like much more of a harder sound to it? And you get like things like Horn and
it is
Biscuit and
you can't compare it. You cannot. If you listen to OK Computer, there might be some pieces here and there, right, that you take from Kid A, but the albums are so completely different. It was as if two other bands, Radiohead Part 2, came in and did it. It was nothing.
In some ways, that's good though, because like usually the sophomore album of any band usually flops, and so to change it up and not try to redo what they did before is actually really smart.
So right, so that's kind of what I did. I kind of went back and reflected and just looked and was like, should I really hate this record, or should I really give this a chance and not look at it as like, I'm the guy that, I guess you could say I'm simple-minded, right? I'm old school. If it ain't broke, right, don't fix it. And the first three records were perfect. And there was a natural progression, right? This was, when we were talking the Beatles, you're going from, Rubber Soul, well, Hard Day's Night, right, to Help, to Rubber Soul, to Revolver, to Sgt. Pepper. It's a gradual ride up.
Right.
It was the same with their first three records with Radiohead. And OK Computer, like, I can't describe it.
Well,
it's completely different.
Well, Jake, I was really wanting to hear your explanation tonight, because when Jake sent in his records, my response was,
no OK Computer?
Why not OK Computer?
Right.
But I will say this, the way I see it, and this isn't my rankings, but I think the way a lot of people see it, Pablo Honey, Kid A, and OK Computer is the three that I hear that, and with the Bends somewhere in there. But
I'm OK Computer, the Bends, and Pablo Honey. Like I think the Bends is right up there with OK Computer, but Kid A is just, I just couldn't grasp it for whatever reason. It wasn't, in 97 into 2000, like I was still grunge, still listening to a lot of alternative rock. And it just, I don't know, the closest thing I guess I could describe this with, Scott, was when you take U2 and you go Joshua Tree, you've got Rattle and Hum, and then you've got Octung Baby, which is completely different. But OK Computer is like 2 steps beyond that, maybe 3 steps. It was just such a crazy departure, from where they were going.
Well, what I really respect about Radiohead is they know themselves very well. Like after Creep, they were committed. We're never doing that again. And what I think they were saying is, we don't want to be that band. They could have came out with 15 different versions of Creep over the years, and probably sold more records, but they wouldn't have they went more in the artistic direction. They did their own thing,
Right. And I think that's what at the end of the day, how I felt when the record first came out and how pissed I was that it wasn't just, a continual progression, right? This was just like I said, a complete 360. It wasn't a 180, right? On it now, you go back and you look at that. Were they aware that they possibly could have been committing career suicide? Maybe. But you know what? Kudos to them for saying, we're going to do our thing. And
their hardcore fans followed them for that.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So they took a huge chance. So I have the utmost respect for the band for doing that. It just took a long time for me to get there. So I felt just really because of that, because of taking that chance and because of it being so different, I think it deserves to be there. Right? It's kind of like the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, right? Kid A is kind of like their Pet Sounds, completely different than what people were expecting.
Well, also, guys, we've all had an artist or a song that we absolutely hated, and then at some point, shortly afterwards, I love this song or I love this album. We've all had that with an artist or something that just like, oh, I can't stand it. Like that Arctic Monkey song that it's just an earworm. I hate it, but then you catch on to it. And I like this. This is fun.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good to revisit stuff that you might have dismissed because you were too cool or that music wasn't the main thing you were listening to go back and listen to it when you don't care if anybody thinks you're cool or not. It's just you and whether you like the music or not. And I think for me, I've had a lot of albums come up and say, golly, I get it now why folks like this record,
With those, so there were two records that I threw away. I bought them the day they came out, and I threw them out the car window, and there were two albums that I did that. Pearl Jam's No Code was taken out of the car and thrown out the window.
Like $20 out the door. Dang.
And Radiohead's OK Computer, or sorry, the Kid A. Those were the two that were thrown out. Yep.
So you really had to have it. You did have a full circle moment with that.
Yeah, then I years later I went back and listened to the code, and I'm like, you know what? There actually were some good tracks on that record. It's not as terrible as I thought, but I was also
I think
a 16, 17-year-old kid.
We're about the same age. So like when you're of that age, don't forget MTV drove a lot of the narrative about what's going on in that whole like scene. So like if everyone else panned it, you were like, why'd they change? And you're going with the flow. And now that you have much more of a broader palette and you understand like where things are connected to now, like in the influences and stuff, you go back and you're like, oh wow, they're much more broad and deep than I expected.
Right. How many people like us as just music listeners, right? As fans, how many of us really like think about the musical direction that artists go? I think we're just so into the music when we come into it, regardless of the age. All we want is we want more. We want to be taken out of the crap, whatever it is we're in life. And whatever those songs and that particular album, whatever it's doing, you just want that. You want that to continue, right? And then when it's something that you can't get, you can't take that journey, musically, and it just kind of puts you in a spot where you're like, what is this? You're just like, crap. You don't even think about.
And now you're like, it's not so terrible.
Right.
And now I go back older, as an older man, right? And you listen to it and you're like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, man.
Well, there's so many things in life that not giving a damn what other people think is really beneficial, but music is probably the number one. Like it's like if you forget, hey, I'm gonna put Staying Alive on and I'm gonna jam to it, It's very freeing. And I don't think I fit the demographic for a huge Lana Del Rey fan, but she's one of my favorite,
I think how I felt when the record came out, like I've tried to kind of compare it to something, and maybe how I felt when I listened to kind of some of those records, right, that just were bad. I guess you could kind of equate it to what it was like when people that were hardcore rock and roll, when disco came out.
Yeah.
And there were some people love disco, and there were others that were like, what are we doing? I mean, that's the only thing I could probably compare it to. Maybe that's I don't know.
And a lot of that disco we still listen to today.
And I
like it. And
I like it.
Yeah, people are bringing it back and putting it in the backbeats of their songs now.
Yep.
Yeah. But really, what is disco about? Like, it's a much more stylized funk and groove. It's just like they just took it to a different level.
And you can dance to it.
And you can dance to it. Yeah.
If you can't dance, you don't like disco.
And truth be told, Scott, "Staying Alive" is my morning get ready song with Alexa, because it's like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and I got to get out of the shower. So
there you go.
And Lyle, yes, I did throw No Code out the window. It did happen. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you.
You could probably still go get it, Jake. It's probably a G+.
It's probably
no. Man, so I got it. I got it. I remember when I bought it. I was visiting a buddy of mine. I grew up in the Woodlands, Texas, as a young kid, and I was out there during the summer. And we went to the Woodlands Mall when I think it opened up. Not long after it opened up, but I got it at the mall when it came out on CD. I was like, "Gotta put this in."
Was there a Sbarro there?
Always. Sbarro and Taco Bell, always the two, right? And yep, I mean, within the first couple songs, I looked at my buddy and grabbed it and went, "Nope." Tossed it.
Not the first of many bad decisions.
So I'm picturing a young Jake with blonde tipped 90s hair with the beaded necklace. Maybe
no frosted
tips.
No frosted tips. Then frosted tips came in 99, early 2000. So right around Kid A.
Okay. So not quite yet then. Okay.
Not quite yet.
All right.
That was a 99 scene.
I think Sean's enjoying this because he knows he's staying off the hot seat for a little while. But
I don't consider it a hot seat. It's just because there's so many albums that are so close to get just this. I find the Elton John and the Billy Joel ones are so difficult because they're not that far off from each other. I mean, they could be 1As and 1Bs and 1Cs, But the problem with Elton is he had 32 albums, studio albums or something.
Wow.
And in the first 5 years, he had almost 10 or 12 albums. So we're talking like Empty Sky, Elton John self-titled, Tumbleweed Connection, Madman Across the Water, Honky Chateau, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Caribou, Captain Fantastic and that Burt Brown Dirt Cowboy. Then it goes into Rock of the Westies, Blue Moves, A Single Man. There's so many. And in 1979, Victim of Love, the highest I got was 41 in the charts.
Well, at that point, he kind of burns out. And then don't forget the music changed. 1978 to 82 window is like music. These old rockers are trying to figure out where do I fit in this new world,
Yeah. And again, this is like the early 80s is the peak of when he was into going in rehab, and then late 80s he went back into rehab. So if you look at the first 5 years of his career, there's 10 albums that could be easily in the top 5. I mean, so how do you make that decision? And it was a lot of listening and all paying attention to the non-hit tracks. The non-hit tracks was more important to me on this one because I'm thinking of it as a whole, listening to the album, because we all know the great songs. You don't even need to know the album; you know all the great songs. So it's the other songs with them that really I try to base some of those things with. So do I have control over this? Yeah, I do. All right, so this is the top 5. My number 5. Let me get my list here. Again, most of these could be number 1 and number 2 anyway. But this is my list. You can make fun of it or critique it or give me your list. It's fine. But this is mine, and you can be mad at it or not like it. But again, everything is so close that
why are you apologizing?
I don't know. So number 5. Number 5.
Scott should apologize for the Van Halen top 5.
That's true. Number 5, Honky Tonk Chateau. I wish I had the list of the songs because it's easy to talk about it, but I have one right here. But we have Honky Cat. I Think I'm Going to Kill Myself is actually a good song. Yeah. And I'm looking at them going like, there's no way this can be a good song. It is a good song. Mm-hmm. Salvation, Mona Lisa's Mad Hatters, Hercules. I mean, this mellow. Rocket Man, and there's just so many great songs. But I put it at 5. It could be easily be anyone's number 1. Seriously.
Bernie Taupin.
Agreed, Tucker.
What did Tucker say?
Scott mentioned how great a songwriter Ray Davies was, but you have to put Bernie Taupin on that list, and I absolutely agree.
Amount of songs that they put out in the first 5 years of Elton's career is just amazing.
It's huge.
And that's why this list is so hard. Number 4 is Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. I don't have the list of songs in front of me, but that one.
Someone Save My Life Tonight is probably one of my favorite Elton John songs of all time on this album. And I get it, like, I don't know, it's just got a good feel to it. Makes you get a little emotional. It's done so well. The buildup of it.
And it just celebrated its 50th anniversary this year. So think about it, it's 50 years ago.
Wow.
And people are still buying it. Like, you know, these records that you'll have listed, like, they still sell great. You know, if we get them in our shows, we sell these records.
Oh, yeah.
And I challenge you to find a used good copy of any early Elton John album.
They're loved.
Try to find a decent used copy.
Sean, Scott was 18 when this came out. So he knows. I mean, all of these records.
You can go Japanese and get them all clean.
Yes, you can.
And my wife, again, while I'm doing the research on this, she did twice as much research. I should have had her do.
Well, get out of here. Get her on. Get her down here.
But so she's always loved Elton John. So she's been listening to everything. She's been playing stuff, and we've been talking. And again, my list is not the same as hers, but it's pretty close. So the next one,
It's a good one.
This one I think would be more closer to her number 1 than mine.
I thought that's what she said was her number
Crocodile
1.
Rocks on this
Yeah.
one.
Again,
Believe it or not, I hate Crocodile Rock.
Really? It's a silly song, but it's fun.
and I can understand that, but again, there's so many good songs. That's why one of my you'll see as the list goes on, because you'll notice something missing, and you'll be like, why? That's such a good song. But so that one's that one. The next one, number 2, is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Number 2.
Which is the theme,
one.
which is the theme of his tour. So if you went to see the tour, we were on the side of the stage, and the screen was cool and had all these graphics of different parts. But when the end of the show, he puts on that shirt, that jacket, and it's hilarious, especially if you watch it from the side, because he basically goes into the screen, but it's on like it just kind of slowly moves up, but on the side view, they put up railings, so he's holding on to these railings as he's going up into the screen. It looks like he's using a walker to go up into the screen at the end of the show, which is not a great look from that side, but a great show. And that was that. So number 1, what do you guys think is number 1? Anyone in the audience want to guess?
I saw it on your desk there, so I'm wondering. I'm not going to say it.
I'm going to guess and just say Madman.
Anyone else?
That would be a good number 1, Jake. Madman.
It would be a good number 1. So
there it is. Let's go.
Yeah, I saw it when you first were on today.
Not it.
It's
Really? What?
No. Well, there is great songs on it.
Levon's on there, right?
Is amazing.
The elevated walk.
The elevated walk to heaven. Yeah, but how many times do I need to listen to Tiny Dancer? It's a great song.
It's 7,000 times better than Crocodile Scott.
I would give you that, Crocodile Rock. But it is a great album, and it probably could be a number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for anyone on here. It is not my list, because I kind of judged Holiday Inn's good. I listened to all these way too much. I didn't listen much to the 80s. I will admit to that, but no one really did.
That was not
Too late for zero.
No.
Too
So
late.
what do you think my number 1 is?
I think Mrs. Shark has given us a little lead on.
There's
You've mentioned
only,
this album
there's
before.
only one truly great one left by now, and Mrs. Shark is
and the reason why I chose this one is because you're looking at the whole album. Elton John, all his albums were great. He had great hits on all of them. This one, he didn't have any huge hits on it, but that's right.
Stacy, you got to pin that one at the bottom, guys.
Hold me closer, tiny dance.
And that's what I said to Scott too, because he questioned my. You sure that you sure? I said I don't want to hear the song ever again unless he's singing it to Tony Danza. Is what I said to Scott. Because he does. Tony Danza is a teacher in Philadelphia area. He's a school teacher in this area, so that would be a possibility. But Tumbleweed is just a complete great listen through and through. I can just play it and listen to every song and enjoy the album as a complete package. And there's no major hits on it, but it's a great album.
Yeah, it's definitely a themed album for sure.
And all the other albums are great albums, and there's a great songs, but there's 2 or 3 songs on a lot of them that I'm like, next. I don't get that at all with Tumbleweed Connection. That's the number.
That's your number one.
That is my number one, and you can spark controversy, but again,
don't apologize.
But again, I didn't move it. See,
and some copies have a beautiful textured gatefold. I think I have a textured gatefold.
This is the album that you're more apt to find in playable condition than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
So this is like Elton John. This is like the Neil Young Trans or Landing on Water.
No, that's all his 80s stuff. Much like Neil Young's 80s stuff. So that's why I chose this one, because it's just a great listen. And I knew it would throw you guys off a little bit, but Again, they're all great. I mean, they're all, if I could fit them all in as 1 and 2, they'd all be 1 and 2s that I talked about today. Seriously.
I would have gone Yellow Brick and Madman as 1 and 2. But you know what? I think a lot of people would. So that's kind of why I like it. It's, like it's all.
And also when you listen to the other albums, almost every album in the first 10 years had 1 or 2 songs that were Westernish on other albums that tie back to Tumbleweed. There's a few. If you will listen to those other albums, like he's talking about cowboys.
Oh, they love country western. The two.
So that theme kept going back to other albums. So it always kept going back to Tumbleweed, like Tumbleweed, country, the West, the old Wild West. So that's why I chose that.
Okay, so was this your wife's favorite as well?
No, she likes Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. That's
okay, so that's her number one.
And that one, like if it was me, I do think those are the top 6 albums. If you throw Mad Men in there, I think I'll probably have Mad Men as my favorite too, and probably Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player probably makes honorable mention.
Couldn't Tony Danza. I like Razorface on here. I mean, there's songs I didn't think at first because I know I've listened to them, but not that often. But I do like a lot of them. But
I like Honky Chateau. I like that he went away to France and like he was in this like castle making music. I thought that was cool.
Well, this one has
that might be my number 2. Yeah.
Get back, Honky.
Like one of my favorite songs. I think my favorite song is Jamaica Jerk Off. I just like the sound of that record, and just
is that on the Westies album or is that in that album?
Is it Rock of the Westies?
The Rock of the Westies.
Oh, Tumbleweed was your number 1. So number 2 was her Don't Shoot Me in the Dark.
I figured.
Okay.
I figured. I'm like, whatever her number 1 is, he's gonna roll with that.
That's
because
not why, but
she's gonna kick him out of the damn house.
Caribou.
Caribou
is good too. I mean, there's some great songs in Caribou. Again, they're all the first 10 years. That's the best writing. All that stuff saved up, and them together was just a dynamo of music. I mean,
what would Hooper pick?
He's not really into Elton John. He's like death metal.
And you mentioned Caribou because I think that's the one of that run. That's the one nobody talks about is Caribou too.
Caribou. Let's see what it had on Caribou. Caribou had.
I have a soft spot for I don't know the name of the actual song. Is that I Don't Want to Go On You Like That with the MTV music video? They played that a lot in the 80s.
The very first Elton John song I remember hearing as a kid, and I saw it on MTV, was a music video for I'm Still Standing.
Yeah, I'm Still Standing. Yep.
And I was like, who's this weird guy in this outfit with his top hat out the beach doing like, so that was my introduction to Elton John.
So Caribou has The Bitch Is Back.
Yeah.
Grimsby, which is a good song. Dixie Lily, Solar Prestige, that one. You're So Static. I've Seen the Saucers, another good one. Stinker, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and Ticking. Again, they all have great albums, except in the 80s, there was like one song on each album that was good.
Right. Yeah,
and
the one hit.
that was all you got, and it wasn't very cohesive. But it makes
He
amazing.
was still putting himself back together in the 80s, though. You know?
And
Here's a question for the three of y'all.
Yeah.
So
I haven't done my honorable mentions yet,
with Elton, do you feel like, with him, right, there's an overall album experience within the top 5, or would you say it's safe to get his greatest hits volume 1 and 2?
Well, not volume. You can get Diamonds, like the expanded version.
I have the Diamonds one.
Yeah, but I think you need
the albums.
You need like 7 Elton Johns. These 6 records we're talking a lot lot, and then
including
Diamonds.
the first one too. Yeah.
Yeah, because the 80s, that's the greatest hits. That's
right.
Like that one's the greatest hits because there's so much. All right, so my honorable mentions. Let me do
like he after 1979 he jumps the shark. No offense, but you know the phrase from Happy Days.
I'm not aware.
Oh, he's aware of it.
I'd play it if my OBS was on.
Like, no, I just feel like in the first, you said the first 7, first 6, like that's when he was like who he was, like at the top of his game. Everyone knew who he was. He was the newest, hottest guy in the game. And then drugs do bad things to people if they hit you too hard. So.
Well, his first album was Empty Sky, which was mixed. I mean, it didn't even get charted in the UK. The US, it reached 6, but it didn't get a lot of play. Empty Sky. And then his self-titled. I think a lot of people hear that after they hear they hear like Tumbleweed and Madman before they ever hear his self-titled.
Well, I guess because I heard the greatest hits first, I know about like Your Song and Daniel.
Yeah. And there's a couple later albums that are good that are going to get honorable mentions in here.
Yeah, as a kid, my introduction to him was I'm Still Standing on MTV, and my aunt had a greatest hits in her old like Honda. What was it, like a Honda Civic or whatever, and the tape deck always stayed in there, and her favorite song was Philadelphia Freedom. She would sing
that's a good one. It's a good workout song.
Over and over again. So those are the 2 songs that I grew up knowing first about him, and then eventually listening to a lot of the earlier stuff.
So my honorable mentions, I think we just listed 3 of them on here, but songs from the West Coast, Elton John self-titled, and The One are great albums also. I also put on my list on my notes here is take a listen to Elton John and Leon Russell's The Union. That's another great album.
Late Elton.
Oh, and he and Kiki D, can't go wrong with that one.
No.
Don't Go Breaking My Heart. He was also on
that's another one I can't.
What's the one about Friends? Hold on. That's What Friends Are For. He was part of that ensemble. That was fun.
I think he in the 80s that he made sure he had the hits, but the albums just weren't as strong. Some of the 80s songs are great, great songs, but the albums themselves are where these albums are chock full of great album cuts. Those are not,
Yeah, most of these albums are 3 or 4 great songs. In the 80s, you had one great song, and then maybe if you were lucky, you had a second great song. Until you got to Rock of the Westies, not Rock of the Westies, songs from the West Coast.
What's your guys' take on the the rockumentary? I guess it was a jukebox musical, and like, what do you guys feel about it, Rocket Man?
I had a problem going into it at first.
The movie?
Like, I don't want to see a documentary or a rockumentary or a movie about somebody
biopic,
that they're alive. I don't want to watch that. And my wife and we went and I watched it and I loved it because the way they did it, it was kind of whimsical, and I just loved the way it was done. I mean, because it just
I loved it.
Bohemian Rhapsody had come out, and I liked that, but I just wasn't feeling like I don't want to watch a movie like this about someone who's alive. And then I watched it, and they did it. It was awesome the way they did it.
Yeah, it was great. Bohemian Rhapsody was great.
He wanted to be a part of it. That's why he did it.
Yep. Yeah. Rocket Man was great. Oh gosh, believe it or not, when I went and saw, I think the costumes and stuff were great, but I wasn't where I was like, oh yeah, it was Elvis. I didn't get into that as much as I did Rocket Man. Or
Yeah, I haven't. I've never
Epstein.
finished that one.
Elvis had a darker side to it, though. Like I felt really bad for Elvis at the end. I was like, wow, I didn't realize how bad the Colonel was towards him.
How often does a movie make you hate Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Right.
You know it's gonna be bad.
And he played it so dastardly well. Like, you're just like, wow, you're a bastard. That's not cool.
Well, yeah, guy was never a colonel, man. He knew that if they traveled outside the states, he'd probably get deported.
Yeah.
You know, so it
And
definitely.
to think Elvis went that long not knowing, that's crazy.
Did he know, or he
I don't
didn't
know?
It makes you wonder. I think his whole relationship was the fact that, look, he took a chance on me, right? And I think there was kind of that respect on there. It's like, you know, everything I got because he came in, and you know. But just think of what Elvis. I mean, if you look and you see what he has done, right? Even after his death. And, you know, there are people that are still diehard fans, but think of what he could have done had he been able to tour the rest of the world.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and also too is other songs that he may have been able to sing, because I mean, you've heard the story that he wanted "I Will Always Love You," but he wanted to steal the rights to it. It's his song and not Dolly's.
Well, Colonel Parker did.
Colonel, right? So
yeah, he
wanted
100% songwriting credit on that for Elvis.
And think about all the times he did that. Probably, people
said yes. You know,
and good for Dolly for standing up to Elvis. That's a big deal. You know, I think she was a lot smaller than he was at the time.
You know, hey, so I liked Lefty Mask. It was a cross between Across the Universe and Bohemian Rhapsody. Believe it or not.
Oh, that's Mask Man.
Maybe someone feel this way, maybe not. Okay. But when I watched a little bit of Across the Universe, I couldn't get into it because I have a weird thing about how Beatles songs are covered.
Same.
And if they're covered horribly, I cannot get into it, whether it's a movie, it's a band, or an artist that's covering. There's only a few where the covers have been great. Right. And when, you know, Eddie Vedder's cover, like the I Am Sam soundtrack.
Better. Yeah.
Better. I agree. Better.
I have a hard time watching like movies that use the Beatles songs as their soundtrack, but it's not related really to the movie itself. Like the Moulin Rouge does the same thing. I saw that, and I saw it when I went to go. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. I went to go see it live, and I was like, these songs don't quite fit. And I don't do well with like stuff like Baz Luhrmann, you know, like when things that like there's hip hop and like The Great Gatsby. I'm like, this doesn't match for me. This is not the same era. You know, some people love that modernization, but it's not my jam.
Yep. Like I'll say, hey, I applaud it. I like the fact that it's thinking outside the box, because look at the Beatles' Love. Unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable what they did to turn those songs. But if you think about that, right?
But I think the Beatles are at the heart of it, and I think because Giles Martin being George Martin's son, they kept the integrity of the Beatles' music and just added a remix. They didn't change it, you know. Right. I mean, they changed it, but they didn't like. It wasn't a new singer. It wasn't new in I guess it was a different arrangement. But.
Yeah, I think some artists, when you change the integrity of the song from an original, I guess it goes two ways. It either works or it doesn't.
It depends.
And maybe I'm a snob with that. I've just never felt. On few occasions, an artist has hit it, and then more times than not, meh.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Across the Universe.
So, Sean, did you like Elton John's cover of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? I personally, I did not, but
but I love his Pinball Wizard.
I like Pinball Wizard. I don't think it's terrible.
Pinball Wizard's better than Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, but I like both. I don't mind Elton John's cover of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
You don't?
No. Don't hate it. You know, I think the Beatles is much better, but okay. So a couple things. First of all, congrats, Sean. I know you sweat these top fives. You put a lot of work into them.
You did great, bud.
Appreciate you.
Well, what I need is a paper and pen like all the time when I'm listening to it, though, because there's so much things you pick up on that you kind of forget.
Well, you did do a first this week. You're the first person to submit your top five on a photo of a handwritten note. That's how I was like, okay, this is different. But look at all the while they're on here, I mean, you guys can fire off any questions you have, and we want to thank Janet for coming on. And
Thanks
since
for
we have
having me.
them both in the house here, this has been sitting in the background. It's awaiting my renovation of my former office to turn it into my studio. This will hang on the wall in probably a frame. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, but this was done by Janet.
Well, you got to give credit to Maskman for the logo first, and then I did the paint.
Janet, hold your horses. I'm going to produce you here.
Thank you, thank you.
The other person is in the room too, who actually designed the logo. So Dennis is here. Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis.
It's all over the place. It's on Instagram. It's our banner on YouTube and all that. So thank you guys for contributing. You know, when we're as big as Rogan, we'll remember. Okay.
And also, guys, if you're watching the Olympics, you may see some of Maskman's work.
Yeah,
on the hockey helmets, really?
Yeah.
Is he in the chat right now? Like, what teams has he done for the? Is it only the USA team? Or
Dennis, did he really?
Yeah, I didn't do USA this year. You did the previous Olympics US. I think he said I want to say Finland and Sweden, but I don't.
I know this. Like Dennis has been gone. Like he was gone for a while, so I was always wondering. Like, man, he must be doing a big job or something. Because
I think he was moving too. I think he had a lot going on.
Yeah, we're still waiting on. Like he was designing his listening room, and so we need to catch up with Dennis and get some pics and pictures of his new setup and all that. So
maybe
good to see him here tonight.
Oh, and I want to Lily White. So Phil, you are correct. Phil did Tomorrow Never Knows. Didn't like it. Peter Gabriel also covered Strawberry Fields Forever. Didn't like it. It's tough.
So Sweden,
That's so cool.
and Switzerland.
Wow.
I knew I was thinking Finland.
No, Maskman, girls or guys teams? Sorry, I cut you off.
Is it the same? They have the same.
I don't know.
Uniforms?
It's a good question.
We'll find out. Because I was thinking Finland because I had watched the U.S. women's beat the poop out of Finland the other day.
Mm.
You know what I
they
take
beat
pleasure in
Canada.
watching?
Yeah, and then I watched ice bowling. I watched a little ice bowling.
I love curling. Man, I love watching curling. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. I dig it.
She did the men's. All right. Well,
All right.
I was at PT yesterday watching the Gold Zone, and you can watch all these different ones they go around. I was like, that's really neat. You know.
What's the PT?
I have plantar fasciitis. I'm at PT right now, so I watch TV with them when I'm over there, and I got to see the Gold Zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting the reference. So
yeah.
I'm right there with you, Lily. I agree with that.
When you say Phil, you're talking about Phil Ramone?
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, got it.
Desert
covered
Romeo.
Tomorrow.
Oh, you just mentioned it. That's
Tomorrow
right.
Never Knows. Which, like, am I like a fan of it? Like, no, but I'll be honest, it's a lot better than Peter Gabriel's cover of Strawberry Fields. Way better than Strawberry Fields
How
Forever.
do you cover Strawberry Fields without, like, the Mellotron is everything?
You can't. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'd
I
love to
saw
have
the Mellotron.
audio.
The Mellotron's at the Rock Hall, guys. You got to go check it out. I saw a real Mellotron. I think it's the one that Mike Pinder hooked up for John Lennon.
Well, Floyd, I think you could actually, for the most part, most of the time playing curling, you could hold a beer in one hand and do some.
Tucker, I really think we
I
need
hear
to
it's
get
hard work.
a whatnot curling team. I can imagine what we would be yelling out of our mouths.
It'd be
Nothing good.
that would definitely be like junior rec league classification on that team.
It would be
I'll watch
bad.
that one.
Your wife would see you doing that, Jake, and she'd say, "What? And you can't sweep the kitchen?"
Pretty much.
All right. So let's talk about we actually we got a question that came in. Actually, I got it. We all three got it on Whatnot. I just happened to see it pop up. There's a question about like the albums and could we list them in the show description? And the answer to that is yes. We're still trying to figure out how to best present the total list. We do have we converted it to spreadsheet because we need to do some management. I am able to do a web version of the share, but I don't know really where to put that. So we're trying to work that out. So I will explain a little bit about where we're headed. Like we have not been doing the things to attract the maximum number of viewers. and I would say that's intentionally. We wanted to get our legs under us, get the tech worked out, get the vibe of the show up and running. I feel like for at least the last 5 episodes, we've really hit it. So we're feeling comfortable. We're going to start doing things. So you'll see different thumbnails on the YouTube now that are a little more clickbaity. You're going to see show descriptions written out. So there's going to be a little different look, and that's because I think we're ready to go to the next stage. I will say, one thing you can do in the interim is over on Instagram, we post the album with a write-up on every album. We don't have them all out there yet. We're catching up, but we're doing 2 or 3 a day. So we will catch up pretty soon. But those are really cool. And the really cool part about it is we have a lot of people that follow us now just based on those posts and nothing to do with the podcast. Hopefully they are coming over to YouTube and watching. So we're going to do the new things. We're talking about some bumper music, the intro music. We were talking about a little short reel to run at the beginning of the videos. So we have a lot of plans. We're just trying to take each step in a very measured way. So when we do take that step, we execute well on it. So, but I will say we're having a ton of fun, and you guys are making it fun for us. So thanks again to everybody out there that joins in live, and to the 100+ people that watch it within 1 week. So we definitely have our we're like the indie rockers playing the low-level club scene right now. We're having fun. So,
and we got rid of the echo. That's when it started getting better.
Yeah.
Okay, so question for Janet from Stacy. What is Janet's favorite album of 2025, not including represses, and a follow-up if she has one? What is her favorite new artist of 2025?
She stumped me on that one because I live in like the 60s to the 80s. I'm in vintage all the time.
Can we expand to 2024? Because 2025 is pretty.
Yeah, like I guess the new-ish artist I'm really into is Karangabin, probably. I'm a big fan of the Texas Sun, Texas Moon. I think that's 2022, maybe 2023.
So you got to be a fan of Leon Bridges then.
Oh, Leon Bridges, yeah. I would say Black Pumas.
Now, what's the official pronunciation of that? I've heard it pronounced
Karangabin.
I've heard it just be cringe binge.
Cringe binge. Help me out, Stacy. Can you phonetically type it out? I don't know. She would know.
I have no idea.
Is it cringe bin? I think it's cringe bin.
Cringe bin. Okay.
I think once I was talking about,
because I've always said whatever you said too, but then someone corrected me, but I don't know what the right pronunciation is.
I have a question for Janet. I think this is a legit question.
Yeah, they got really big last year.
My question for Janet would be this.
Okay.
On average,
mm-hmm.
throughout the week, how many students do you send to the office and kick out of your room?
I don't. I usually try to work with them one-on-one and try not to do that, actually.
How many times have you looked at a student and said, I don't like what you're drawing? Out.
No, not because of what they're drawing. It's usually what they're saying or doing that they're not on task. It has nothing to do with their drawings.
Okay, so if it's not on task and you walk up and you're like, I'm just
they're out of their seat. They're saying rude and weird things, or not weird things, but rude things to other people, harassing people, touching or hitting each other. That's when I get on their case. Yeah.
You're just like, hey, stop it, out. I want to see
out. I usually try to talk to them in the hall before I send them out. It's different these days, you know. Don't forget, I teach high school, and I want to treat them like adults. So if it's so funny, we're talking about teaching them. My other hat. What I like to create an open, inclusive classroom. So my big speech in the beginning of the year is like, as long as you're getting work done, we'll be fine. You know, if that's when you cause shenanigans, that's when we have an issue. There's 2 sides to me. There's the nice chill Golasso. Oh, now we know my last name. And there's the not so nice one, the one who tracks every little thing you're doing and writes you up for little things. Do you want that one on your case? No. So I actually wrote up a kid last year for threatening a clay war on day 1 or day 2. And we called him up and he goes, what do you think? What would you do if I said clay war? I go, and we don't do that. And I got so mad because I really wanted to, after the pandemic, I really just want to put my foot down and be like, I'm done with all this stuff. Like, I don't want any problems with this. So I called home on day 2, said, I don't appreciate the threat. This is not how I run my classroom. This is not going to happen again. And believe he never actually did it. And I haven't had issues with clay probably since that moment, which is great. I didn't have too much throwing of clay this past year. So, and usually have a
Damn it.
Who
Yeah,
knew
it
Clue
doesn't-
could be dangerous?
You know
Clay
what
could be
happens?
so
It happens
dangerous.
when you have boys together and they go bing, and you see like
These are
an
important questions.
aerodynamically like angled piece of clay on the floor. I'm like, you guys are throwing clay at each other. Like, no, we're not. I go, it just doesn't like hit like that.
Coming from someone here who was in after school detention my 8th grade year, if I remember correctly, 18 times
18. Wow.
in 8th grade. Yeah, I was a punk.
Detention's a little different. Like, do I want to stay after school with them? No. Like, if you're gonna stay after school, I'm gonna make you clean my room. But like, I don't usually stay. I mean, I usually will call home first before making them stay after. And if they have to stay after, I'll write them up to admin and let them make them stay after. You know, I don't want to deal with that. You know, because you know what happens is I set up this detention, they don't show up, and then it's like, now I'm staying late. They're not showing up. That's wasting my time. So I'll call home first. and
Isn't
make
it
the connection home.
our time?
That's right, Mr. Hahn.
Isn't it our time?
What do you think you're doing? Learning
Yeah.
about Cuba, having some food.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
going
I
from-
like teaching. It's not all that, you know, like it's usually mostly me walking around and helping the kids out and affirming what they want to do with their art and stuff. And like I try to push them concept wise so they're not just copying off online. I'm trying to get more firm on that one, but for the most part, I mean, we're actually painting on vinyl records from my lessons this year, which is fun. My student teacher did it last year. I'm picking it up this year. So I have tons and tons of records, as you know. So I took a whole stack and I brought them over. I go, we're painting on records this year for our color theory lesson. They're like, what? I'm like, it's all like old classical nobody wants to buy. It's all like scratch stuff, classical stuff. I did all
like
my
it.
discogsing before I brought it over.
Oh yeah. Scott,
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Coming from the fact that this is a man that has over 6,000 CDs, we're not talking about records, but CDs
Mhm.
in his collection. What was the first CD you ever bought that started the collection? And what was the worst CD you ever bought?
Hmm.
I want to say the first I ever bought was Journey Escape on CD.
Oh, okay. It's a good one.
Okay. Worst CD. Don't say rentals because you're lying.
Oh, I don't own that piece of crap.
And the question is, did he throw out the window when he heard it?
No.
Have you thrown a CD out of a window or just been like trash?
I'm trying to think. Excuse me. I don't know if that like the most disappointed I was ever, and this is probably true. The most disappointed I've ever been after acquiring, I think it was the cassette version, was Tusk. I was
Okay.
like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's not
You
as good
didn't
as the
get
others.
it, right?
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like, you do rumors and then you come back with this bloated piece of crap.
Mhm. Yeah.
I still don't understand Tusk, especially the album. It seems like it has extra record sleeves.
There you
It's-
go.
What
That is their kid A.
And it always looks like
Yeah.
hell too. You know, it never looks good.
I'm
Even
like,
the
why-
Japanese press version is weird.
Why is
Okay,
there
s-
more? Why is there more sleeves than there are LPs? I don't get it.
Am I
Zachary
still
goes,
here waiting for
panel
host to
question.
join? What just happened?
Favorite
You're
seller
back. You're back.
and
Okay.
let's see, favorite seller and buy y'all have met since selling on Whatnot.
Favorite seller?
I'm my favorite seller.
My favorite seller.
You guys are all my favorite sellers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No
Way to suck up, Janet.
I buy mostly from you guys and others. Stacy, others too.
So I can tell you this. I
You know,
can
it is-
tell you the first time
It's 'cause you guys
kind
sell
of
clean
went
stuff.
into everyone's rooms, right? And how I met Sean, I was looking for specifically one particular day. I was like, you know what? I can't find any of my old Ringo records. They must have gotten stolen because I had about 150 records that were stolen on my honeymoon when I had friends
no.
house sitting the house.
No.
And I just came across his room
Those are
and
no
was
friends.
scrolling, and I liked this conversation, what he was talking about, and he had 3 or 4 Ringo records, and I just pulled an Addison Bobcat on him and just put pre-bids on everything, and that kind of started our friendship. And with Scott and I were in a few rooms together in random shows, and I think because we had similar taste, we would kind of chit chat in shows, and then I started selling and Scott came out and we kind of continued, and then he was compiling his store and getting it ready, and then Scott started selling. So we all kind of, whether we were buyers or sellers at first, we all just kind of organically hung out. Like Janet,
I think you first knew me as the Crayon.
Yeah, I think it was
you guys
first
had your
used the
Japanese show with the headbands, and I popped in. And somebody was talking about what are the most misheard names on Whatnot, and everyone calls me Vinyl Crayon. And you guys were like, "Oh, you're not the Crayon," and then you guys wanted me to change it to the Crayon, and I already had like I have a website name called Vinyl King. I've not built yet, but I own the domain name. So, and I like the story going back to. There's a history story that goes back to Laurel Canyon.
And I wasn't wearing a bandana; it was actually a bag, and just had the strap, and the bag was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well, I will say my favorite sellers, and this is kind of selfish, are the ones who know what I like. And when they're looking at the record, Jake does this, Sean does this. Like, they'll tell me, "No, this is not for you," because they know I'm very picky on the quality.
We'll wave in front of them, and
so Johnny does it. Channel 910. I'll call out somebody that, doesn't participate with. NC Vinyl, Drew. He is spot on. I love buying records from him because his grading is good. His pricing's fair. He's not on all the time, but when he's on, I usually pop into his show because he's got some good records. Good price.
Scott is so damn picky. When I do a show, when I do a show, I will go in and say, "This is Scott Knight quality, y'all. This is Echo Waves quality."
Super clean, super clean. That's retro. Super clean, super clean.
Yeah, it I don't know. I don't know if that served me well. As a buyer, I am that way. As a seller, now I'm afraid to sell strong VG stuff because I think everybody expects it like to be perfect.
Expects
like,
so high now.
This stuff is not going to be perfect. So I've got like.
I think as long as you declare it, you'll be fine. Yeah. I would say I gravitate towards all the OBS sellers because I'll be like making art while watching, and I like listening in. I like the play testing. I like the storytelling. So I'd say all you guys, Channel 910, Rush Records, Stacy and John, not Johnny, Stacy and Danny. I'm blanking out on its name.
Danny.
Sorry, Danny.
I agree with that, Janet. I think you've hit that spot on, right? I think a lot of us, I think the common denominator for us and why we've all befriended one another and see each other in shows is it's the face-to-face interaction. Right. It's being present. It's being, you're presenting the records. You're playing them so people can hear them to make an educated decision.
Yeah.
They're cleaning them. It's 100% transparency, and it's an experience. And I think that's what all of us were attracted to, right? And it's not just hands, right? And I don't have any issue with those that are like hand sellers. Because there are a lot of people that, really are very camera shy, and I'm cool with that. Right. But you have to be on top of your game, and I think you really have to do a better job presenting records and letting the people really get the feel of the quality of it, listening to it to make that educated decision if it's good. I like people where I can see them, I can engage in communication, I can listen to it. I think we're all that way.
Well, and I think there's an artistic process to it. Like, I have taken this record, I have personally picked for you. I've taken the time to clean it. I've taken the time to wipe down the cover so it's not grimy. I've taken the time to play test it. I don't know if you guys all play test. I play test all my records because I want to make sure, like, because I'm a nut about like skips and stuff. I don't like paying top dollar for one that has a skip on it, So I'll sit and play test, but I'll doing other things, which is why I'm also a bit of a slower seller too. It takes me a while to build my shows up, but at least you're getting a quality product, and I've touched it, listened to it, researched it, got you some trivia about it, and you've had that exchange. I think that's what it is. There's a sense of exchange. Like, you guys are doing those Japanese pressings, you're searching those out, you're making them top copies, you're making your niche for you. Sean's got his show on Sunday morning. He is the guy for Sunday morning. Gonzo Weaver Friday. And then you got your personality and your like zaniness about it. People gravitate towards that. And when you wear the wigs, we're all there, and the air guitar, So there,
that's just because I want hair.
We were talking brand before the show. Like Scott had the record, and I was like, push it out so we can actually see it. Because like, look, it got the logo. My background's in graphic design. I got the slip mat back there. Like by having a brand presence, it really sets you apart from the rest of the hands shows, and and I started that way too. I had my little photo booth and I was showing records and I did what I had to do. And now I got the Delilah voice. It just kind of evolves over time, So
I hang out in you guys' rooms because you haven't banned me yet.
No, well, hold up. It's not that. Just so y'all know, he is by far
The most banned
I thought I
seller.
was bad. He is the worst mod known to man.
Yeah, he sleeps on the job.
Sometimes I fall asleep.
Or I thought I was bad. He is horrible.
But I'm trying to behave, but there's just sometimes I see things and I can't keep my mouth shut.
It's like watching a Muppet.
I agree with that. That's a good
Like,
that's a good analogy. But it boils down to, I think, as a whatnot buyer, the best thing you can do is establish a relationship with your seller of trust, right? Like,
Absolutely.
it'll be affirmed when those records come in and they are what they say they are. I don't have a warp cam, and I don't I don't I'm not big when I show the record. I just think that's a bunch of crap personally, because the best thing you can get is somebody who will look at that record and tell you exactly what they see. Now, I see these guys do both. Jake and Sean do that. That's the best piece of information you can get as a buyer. I mean, buyer is the seller telling you everything they see on that record.
I do the same. Yeah.
Holding a clean record up, it always looks like it's near mint.
Yeah, holding it up doesn't really do much.
You hear me every
Toothpaste King took me to task. I had a one little slight mark on it. He's like, Janet. I'm like, I've gotten better since then.
You hear me on my shows where I'm like, guys, listen, my lighting is going to make every damn record look mint quadruple plus. Take my word for it. If I say VG plus and there's a couple of light scuffs, they're there.
Well, and what I always tell people too is the best people to buy from are the people that love music. Also, I'm going to explain everything that's wrong with that record. And some people get turned off and leave because I think they think that we're selling them a piece of crap.
Right.
When reality is, any little mark we see, that we will describe it. It's not that it's a piece of crap. I want you to know exactly what you're getting. And if there's a mark, I even put it right on that mark to play it.
Right. Same.
If it makes a noise, then you know. Whereas we have some people that do a quick shows each side, runs it. They're more worried about making that $3 sale than it is about making a connection and fulfilling your wish list of music.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? We have, I mean, not just sellers, but it's like, we have a name, right? There's a reputation, right? And when people come into Whatnot, depending on where they go, some of these people might come into this, for the first time, and they might be going into a room where they have no idea what they're looking for. And let's just say they go to a seller, maybe they're inexperienced, maybe they're not necessarily music lovers and they're just doing it to make a buck because they went to a thrift store and got a bunch of records. Right. And it's just a statistic to them. It's just a sale. And then they get these crappy records from someone who doesn't really understand maybe grading all that well. Right. And what that does is that takes a potential buyer away from all of us. Right. And
I agree.
So that's kind of how I've always felt. I think that there should be, I think it's great that there are a ton of new sellers that are coming in, and you're going to have some good
great ones,
some bad ones, right? Like I encourage growth. I think that's great because good things come from growth. You're going to have some bad seeds from time to time, but I think if there was a way that these sellers coming in could be properly trained to be like, look, in this, when you're coming into this, section of Whatnot with records, there's an etiquette. There's a certain, protocol that you need to do so that your buyers know exactly what they're getting. And if you do it right the first time, you're going to have return customers.
Right. I agree with you. Yeah. You can tell in our reviews, people are coming back to us all the time. And that says something about the product you're offering. And I was going to say, what I love about our little community we have on Whatnot is that we all look out for each other and we all know like what each is like niches. Like if I know Pink Floyd, I'm going to go see, Gonzo. If I'm going to look for like, say, Warren Zevon, Linda Ronstadt, I'm going to go to Shark. If I go to like, any sort of rock or even like the newer stuff, like Stacey was saying, like the newer rock stuff and super clean, like you and retro, like the craziest clean Japanese records, I'm going to go to you guys. Stacey, I'm always I maybe says like Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo or Sabrina Carpenter go, I got Best Coast. We're going to take you to Best Coast Music, and I tag her in.
I'll even mention some of the people, some of the sellers, some of the bigger volume sellers, right, that aren't here. You've got Esky Knows Vinyl. You've got
absolutely.
Roxy
She knows
Records,
everything.
Nikki, you have Pure
Yep.
Nostalgia. You've got people.
You got Bruce.
You've got Vinyl King 69. Like if
Mhm.
people are looking for metal, go see Bruce. If
Go
you're
see,
looking for
yep, go
punk,
see Bruce. Yep.
go hang out with Nikki because Nikki is everything
Mhm.
punk and he is a plethora of knowledge.
Yeah, and
Right.
like the
So
whole punk hardcore scene he's really into. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've just sat and watched him talk about stuff, and I mean, what I really loved about his shows when I've been there in the past is like you see the passion, man. I mean, he
Right.
lived it. He was an,
Oh yeah,
a
he was right
musician.
there.
He lived that scene. So it's like
Mhm.
there's some great sellers. And it's a process. You have to go into the shows. You have to really find out the sellers that work for you, that have the things that you like. And I learned trial by error. I went into a couple of
Oh
bad
yeah,
shows, got some bad records. You gotta walk through the fire sometimes, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
record
all of us are here for that. If you
Record
ever
Road
want
Trip's
a
good
reference.
too.
record road trip. Every time I look at his inventory, I'm like, oh my god, how did he get these
Yeah.
records?
I know, man.
Yeah.
He gets some killer stuff.
Yeah. Same with Mark. Same with
Mark. Yep.
Dig It Up Records,
Yep.
right? Mark. Same thing. It blows me away with a lot of the stuff that Mark seems to grab. They're just
I know why Mark is because Mark, when he's around, is on Whatnot 24/7 buying. In the 3 a.m. Mark is there. 2 a.m., 6 a.m. Mark
Yep.
is there.
He doesn't sleep. No.
I do want to mention my buddy Chris Patterson. I want to mention Rush
Mhm.
Records too, because Chris is a great resource for prog, a great resource for jazz, rock. He's one of the few, if not the one guy that
Who makes money
actually
on
will sell
classical. Yeah.
classical, right? So he is a plethora of knowledge. So
I mean,
I
come
want
on,
to give Rush
the
Records
man, the man sold a jazz record to
Tucker.
I mean, my God.
It's like
Who did
telling-
he sell
I-
it to? I missed what you said
He
to.
called me,
Floor Forward
Scott,
Jimmy.
and bragged about it. He's like, Jake, I sold a jazz record.
That's
to
amazing.
Tucker.
That's a talent. That's a talent right
What
there.
record, do you remember what record it was? What was it? Was like a cross hybrid or something?
I was
Or?
there. I forget what it was now, but
He's
had
in the chat.
amazing.
he's had a string of
That's a
bad
talent.
luck since then. He had a
That's
string of
crazy.
bad luck.
He got jinxed.
You know
And
who
he-
does it too? Who has OBS? And I forgot to mention was Little Shop of Hot Rod. And of course, I have to up the ladies of vinyl, right? We have the flip side with Kim. She has like so much knowledge. She was like a radio DJ. She has known so many people along the way. Yacht Records is all about 45s. She's got a lot of knowledge. She had her own record store called Yesterday and Today Records. Duilia is on in the morning and stuff. Usually, she does a little bit here and there. I'm trying to think who else.
we didn't even mention Cap City Pop, right?
Caps, oh God, Cap City Pop. Oh, talk about niche. They know everything about Japanese vinyl.
Oh my gosh.
You need somebody
man.
about like Japanese vinyl, go see them. Yeah, absolutely.
And
Trent also
he-
knows about everything too. He's not just. It's just
and
stuff like this.
Mhm.
From what I learned from Sean, right, is when I started, I learned the hard way. I just
Jenna Vegas.
Trial
Oh yeah,
by error.
absolutely. How could I forget? Oh my
And-
God. How could I forget Jenna Vegas? Yes.
Yep.
Wax Arcana.
Wax Arcana, but their attention to detail, their descriptions, Cap City, when you go into their shows and you see how they've got all their records described, you're right, like it's just very impeccable.
In the
And
past,
I like that. What I love about Esky, right? Amy shows. She's one of the volume sellers. I have so much respect because she's one of the volume sellers that takes the time and will log every single album rather than it being like,
But
Random-
don't you
random
think,
record
Jake? That's been
25.
my pet peeve lately. We have less and less people listing inventory.
Yeah.
They're just
Hey,
And
I
look,
learned
hey,
when I
I'm-
list my
I'm
stuff, I
guilty
learned
of
from
that.
Esky. I was like,
Yeah, I'm
Esky
guilty
has
of
it.
that.
That's a good thing to do. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
you
the
have a-
whole
you have
Discogs
stuff,
information.
you have stuff listed in your store. Like you have a lot of everybody's going to run some random every now
I
and
do a
then.
hybrid,
Right.
but I always have stuff listed.
Yeah. So that's kind of one thing I learned that just going in and watching Amy's shows. And I'm like, wow, she lists every damn record. And that takes so much time.
It takes
Yeah.
a lot
Right?
more time than people
Yes, it
think.
does.
A lot
does.
more
It-
time than people think.
So much time. So I kind of want to validate her for that. And I want to like seriously thank the sellers that actually put in the time that do that. Those are the sellers that you want to be with because it's a lot of work. And a lot of us have jobs,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
so-
work full time. Yeah.
Like I now have a policy where I don't rate someone if they don't have store listings because I don't know what they sell.
You don't know what they're selling. And it's
Well,
smart. Like I used to just rate anybody, but I rated somebody who had like the slowest stream and everyone left. And I was like, oh no. You know.
I think it does take a lot of work, but it to me, it maybe it's just the way I see it. It's arrogant. Like, come to me and let me waste your time because you don't know what record I'm pulling out for the next 3 hours.
Right.
I mean, I think the people who list your show, you're probably going to have a little less people in your room, but you're going to have people that's going to want to be there. And people can pop in, they can look at your inventory. If they're not in, they can leave. But the $1, $3 start,
and I'm going to hold you
random box pull annoys me. I can't stand it.
I'll say this though, Scott. I've been trying to move CDs for $3 starts, and I didn't list them all because they are so low dollar. CDs are hard to move on Whatnot unless they're like rare. Like I just moved a Primus EP for $25. I paid for a lot less than that, and also a Predators soundtrack, and those are what move on Whatnot. But like I didn't take the time to list all the $3 ones, because there were just a ton,
But you have stuff listed though.
Yeah, that's
all the high end ones were listed in the auction tab. Yeah,
it's having those items. At least you have a store. Like I get sometimes when you've got high volume sellers that are selling 200 records, they're always bringing in new stuff. I get it, but a lot of them at least do have stuff loaded in a store.
Right.
I think it's different for people like Vinyl King, right? Like,
he runs a whole shop.
Yeah, that's a different situation than
Bearded Records. Yeah.
The part-time people who get on it. I mean, come on, you're going to get out of it the effort you put into it. So if you're not putting that much, that's fine. I just don't like it. I will not stay in those shows when they're just doing random. I don't care how good the deals are. I can't make myself watch them. So I will say, Stacy made a comment about I buy sealed records. That's true. I do buy sealed records from Stacy, but Stacy, I bought open records from you guys too, and you guys do a fine job on on those. I've never had
packing is key. Yeah, it's true. It's if you don't pack your records, I get ticked. I'm like, why are you sending me this in such a shoddy mailer? So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Vinyl Selling 101 for anybody that didn't ask. Well, somebody did ask a question about favorite sellers. There's a lot of great sellers on the app.
There was another question too about if we met. I have never met any of these people in person.
No,
I have met
Scott, you guys met each other, right?
Yeah.
Scott and I have, and it was a horrible experience.
I do plan. I do want to go roller skating with Gonzo.
Hand holding, okay, on the rink. Let's do it, bro.
With some Endless Love playing in the background or something.
Well, we could do Endless Love, or we could, just in honor of Scott, we could skate to Faithfully.
No, it was great meeting Jake. I look forward to Sean and I are not that far apart, so we're gonna have to figure that out. I have met.
I think we should meet in Philly for the East Coast. The Philly's a really nice in between spot.
Yeah. Sean is coming. Sean is coming in May.
I am taking donations.
Hey, that's awesome.
Taking donations in my show for LaMontagne tickets if you want to do that.
Yep, he's coming in May, so I will make sure that
that's exciting.
Well cared for. Now, question is, Scott, are you coming
in May?
The three of them need to get together at some point all together once.
I'm a maybe. I have a couple things coming up. I have a vacation in April, so I got to figure out if I can squeeze that in. But
you know what? Don't come. Enjoy the vacation. Sean and I got it.
Honestly, guys, I'm going to drop a seed with you guys. Whatnot meetups are the hot thing outside of the vinyl category. If you guys, as 3 Men on the Record, like in another year or so, as this gets bigger, host a meetup of vinyl folks, it'd be huge. Get a hotel, get us all together, get us talking about vinyl. It's a lot of work, but,
I think we get a table at Austin Convention and go live from there.
Oh, there you go.
But I think I could be wrong on this. I think it costs like $5,000 for a table, doesn't it?
No,
dang.
It's not that expensive.
No, it's not. It's not that expensive. Electricity's $100 though.
Yeah,
it's not.
I thought someone told me it was like $5,000. I could be wrong.
No, it's nowhere near that.
Hey, Adam, trust me. He might be retired, but he's slinging. He's hustling.
Yeah.
I stay busy. My wife tells me I work from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, but it's record, so it doesn't really feel like work,
Now, Scott, are you guys still going to Japan? Is that still happening?
Japan.
Yeah, it's gonna be the end of October.
That's so cool
this year. Yeah,
that's nice.
So
looking forward to that. So
the Austin Record Show costs $195 for an 8-foot by 2.5-foot table, including 2 chairs.
That's about right.
And I probably should have Googled that.
Yes, and if you want electricity, it's like an extra $100 or something crazy.
I was way
For a big
off.
show like that, that's about right.
Yeah, that would be pretty easy to recoup that. We'll just bring Jake's dollar bin records over and make the table money back.
Good.
We're gonna sell the
to know.
vinyl option there. But yeah, so it's not that expensive. The only thing you need to do is you got to sign up for the taxes for it.
Well,
Tech-
Jake already has that, so he can
Sign you on his contractors run it through his business.
he can lean on it. 3 minutes. Anyway, that's something I do. It's been so much fun. I've met Jake. I've met Devo a couple times now. I've met Devo. Gurus. I've met Gurus.
We'll have to go to a record riot over somewhere in. I know there's a record riot in Maryland.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That record riot was good.
All the Gary Wright you can handle.
Dude, someone's like, got any Gary Wright?
And then I'm gonna have all these. there too.
Gary Wright and Jimmy Buffett.
I'm just gonna bring 100 copies of Fall Out Boy for Adam. Show him how popular they are. Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's talk about what we got coming up.
Yeah.
I think we got some loose confirmations. Here's what we got for sure. Next week it will be Stacy back for
her third time. Heck yeah, let's go.
Here's number 3. She's going to do the Taylor Swift top 5. That ought to be interesting.
I want to try to argue it, but there's no way I can.
You're just gonna have to let it go.
I'm gonna have to let it go. I'm gonna have to respect Stacy's top 5.
Or not. Or not. You can pretend you know something about it.
I'll just Google the hell out of it.
Then 226, we're slated to have Devo on. That'll be interesting.
Nice.
He knows a lot about music.
Okay.
Our conversation at lunch was amazing.
We'll have to get him a smoking jacket.
The Vox.
March 5th, we've slotted in D&D. So I don't think they've confirmed yet, but Wes and David from D&D, who we did meet in Austin, me and Jake did. And then 312, it's Kim. She was in here earlier.
Yeah. She's an excellent. She'd be an excellent conversation. Yeah, you're learning
we haven't really looked beyond that. We're trying to get Rush Records back on. He's got a kind of a band commitment that he does on Thursday, so we have to let that run out till he can be available. Yeah. The other thing is Stacy is working on getting together a collection to do something for women on the record, or no guys on the record, no men on the record. I don't know what she's going to call it, but
hopefully it's something close to 4 men on the record, 4 women on the record, because it would be
ladies' night. Hey.
Yep, it's going to be all ladies' night. Sean or I will be there in the background. Like,
we'll be quiet
to produce because we have to run the software.
Now, where the hell am I going to be?
You can join us. You just don't have any control. We don't give you any control right now. So
that's crap. That is absolute crap.
Scott, can you have more than 4? Can you have multiples? Like it'd probably be a little chaotic.
We can have up to 10 people.
Okay.
I'll be in costume.
Yeah, we'll be off camera. Our camera's
like bosom buddies. Me and I'll be Tom Hanks. You can be Peter Scolari.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Though I think to have like maybe 3 and 3 to make 6 might be a nice pair off, like guys versus girls.
No, I don't mind. Well, I don't hate it. I just think it should be closer to the original.
I think it'll be fun to change it up.
It doesn't really matter that much, but whatever.
I think half our audience is female, so we try our best to get some female voices on and be good to have.
Yeah, it's Women's History Month in March, Tim.
There we go. So Stacy, make it happen, my friend. Make it happen,
man.
Please. I have been scolding Retta, begging Retta, like just.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck, dude.
I told her to play like Dateline in the background.
Good luck.
I even played well, I guess Johnny loves us, Retta. Even if you don't.
We have tried. Even when I'm talking with Johnny, I will hear she'll be like, "Don't you turn that phone over. Don't turn that phone over to me." And he'll go, and all you'll see is just hands.
Yeah.
Do you be kind of a cool concept if you wanted to, like, get your spouses to come on with you and talk about your music habits and like what you love and this and that? I think kind of fun to get to meet your spouses if they're interested.
I'd be
Do you know
glad.
how hard it was to get my wife to come up for like
That one
2
time.
minutes? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Pulling teeth.
I bought her earrings that day though.
I don't know if I don't know if she'll agree to it, but I would be glad to let my wife set in for me for the Taylor Swift top 5 because she would give much better feedback on that than I would. So
She has
stories. No, see, that's why she's not coming on here. So
I would love to meet Mrs. Shark. That'd be great.
There you go. So,
Mrs. Echo, Mrs. Shark, Mrs. Shenanigans.
Go get some gas at the BJ's gas station, and you'll see us there every time we drive up there. We're right near the house. We're right near you.
Yeah, 30 minutes away. Yeah. Usually, when you're at BJ's, I'm running your show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about my wife, right? Is we're similar in many ways, but we are opposite in so many others.
Even more beat up than the other copy.
Well, I do want to ask Janet. Janet, you got any shows coming up?
Vinyl shows. I'm hopefully going to solidify my Moody Blues big show next weekend, Saturday the 21st. I'm working on it now. I'm almost done. I'm still going through some records. And I have a lot of country that have to get done and a lot of folk that need to get done. I'm doing theme shows. I have some other handmade stuff going on. So tomorrow I'm on the handmade market. I'm doing a Zentangle demo by request. I have some custom heart magnets. And I'm going to be bringing back, hopefully in another week or so, we're doing these rock and roll magnets. And they actually sell really well. Like I sell these for $10 a piece. I made $142 in magnets one show. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So yeah, people have been digging them. I got a little Robert Plant.
It looks like Shark before he went gray.
I got this one. That's just my own design. Got the Rolling Stones. And then I have some What 91. Somebody wants, if you guys are in the chat, was this Two Lost Souls? Somebody wanted Snoopy. I forget who actually requested for it.
Baron?
I made it.
Probably Baron.
Then I have here, it wasn't him actually. I have What 91s. So like Crushing It. For a Valentine's Day, You, Me, and Whatnot. Little throuple. Run It. Go Live with the Whatnot logo. Don't sleep. Chat. I think about the Random Hunt. He says that a lot. Here's another Crush It because it's playing with font, and then also Let's Go with the fire. Let's go. So, they're fun.
Put all like 20 bit it ups in one thing.
Do like a line of bit it up. Oh yeah, and I should show Mike from VC Vinyl. I think he would totally dig that.
Oh, he would. So Scott,
it'd be his first purchase if he bought from me.
I have a Saturday show, which I won't have any new inventory, but I'm gonna do a show, because I do have like 500 records in my inventory, so I have plenty of records to sell. But the following Saturday, Retro Retreat and I are doing a big joint show. We're calling it Big Show 2, where he's coming down here. We've got a lot of killer stuff. So looking forward to the show, but those shows are so much work. I got to rest up. Massive. So next Saturday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
And I'll probably be on Saturday morning going through some more, VG records.
Your $3 starts. You did really well last week. Like they're 50 sales, right? That was big.
Yeah, but I hate packing for a $2 or $3 record.
No, it's a lot of work.
But it's cleaning out. It's going to be cleaning out some major records from here, which is going to help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to bookmark Janet's show because if somebody can sell Moody Blues, I need to go and learn how to sell Moody Blues.
You got to tell the stories. You got to tell about the Mellotron and how Mike Pinder was like the electronics guru. Yeah, you got to get into the deep cuts.
So Gonzo, when are you on again?
I'm going to be on tomorrow morning.
All right, just went and got some records, so I know you got some records.
Yeah.
No,
I'm off tomorrow.
This
starts my long weekend.
Store is loaded. Just going through a lot of the existing inventory to make way for some new stuff that I'll get later on. It's gonna be fun. We're just gonna hang out, chill, listen to some music. I'm probably gonna, during the show, I will play for y'all the America self-titled Reserve that I think everyone should listen to. I think everybody should get. Thank you, Scott, for that recommendation today while I was at the store. Because again, I was looking for a record for Scott, and he was like, "You got to get this." And I've had that album many a times, but This is probably the best sounding I've ever had.
Oh, that's amazing sounding.
And
They
of
were
course-
all they were all sons of servicemen, right? They met each
They
other, I
were.
think, in England. Yeah.
Yep.
Despite their
did.
name in America, they were in England when they wrote their music.
That's funny that they weren't. So this weekend, I am waiting on I have 20 packages zigzagging across the United States, sometimes crossing itself's path from before. So this weekend, I don't know what I'm going to have. I know I'm going to restock the Pink Floyd 50th anniversary, the Guns N' Roses live era. I have that coming. The Three-Legged Dog is coming. And I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff. We'll see. And then I'm going to go a little digging tomorrow. And we'll see what I can find for you.
I'll pop in, Jake, and buy my label and tip you.
I got you, brother.
All right. All right. Well, I think it's that. This is it for the week.
The longest running show we've ever had, by the way.
Hey,
Oh, it is.
nice.
But it was a fun talk afterwards. So
Yeah.
and you
I
can
Longest
watch,
running show, and it's a 2 Queen show. We
And
made
you-
some records today.
and you
Yeah.
can watch in small doses. So I mean,
Scott's fault.
It's going to be on YouTube forever, so you can watch half of it. I know Johnny will be listening to the first half, 30-minute drive, and
Johnny, don't hurt yourself when I talk about Revolver.
Will, that'll be great. Looking forward to that.
happy.
All right.
birthday to
Happy
Gabriel.
birthday, Peter.
So thank you guys. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Shenanigans. And you guys all have a great weekend, and we'll see you on whatnot.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Take
Bye,
care,
guys.
everyone.